It was one of those hot summer days when thirsts and tempers run high that I arrived in the town of Harness Junction. I'd come into Harness for the Circle Oak cattle drive. I had a few days layover, which I thought I'd use to look up the Harcourt brothers, sons of an old friend who had died a few years back.
Looks like I found the youngest one, Lex.
I said stop it!
You all right, Jim?
All right, get up. I said get up! Go on home. I said get. Vint Bonner.
Hi, Cash.
When'd you get in town?
I don't know exactly the round, but I was here in time for the knockout.
That kid. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Come on in the office. Rest your legs. Sorry you had to see that, Vint. Sorry still I had to do it.
Seems to me you outweigh Lex a few pounds.
I know. I hate to use my hands on that kid.
Then why do you do it?
Look, Vint, it's not as though I don't have good reason to. That kid's got a chip on his shoulder a mile wide.
To match the one on yours? You were a lot like him at his age.
The old man knocked it out of me. I'm going to have to knock it out of Lex. He's got a temper building inside him like a Texas tornado. You down here for the Circle O drive to Durango?
That's right. I'm a few days early, though. They're still out on the trail.
Well, you're going to stay with us till they come in. Of course, there's been a few changes made.
Oh, did you move from the old house?
No, still live in the same old house. Me and Bess both.
Bess? Oh, you got a new horse.
No, I didn't get a new horse. I got married.
You got what?
That's right, I got married. Prettiest girl in town, and a good cook.
Congratulations. I never thought you'd make it. Look, I can't barge in.
Anytime you're in town, you're going to stay with us, just like when the old man was alive.
I'll just get a room at the hotel.
Vin! I'm the law around here. You want to stay out of trouble, you do as I say.
I'll go quietly, Sheriff.
That's it! How's my wife, huh?
And how's my husband?
Honey, I want you to meet Vint Bonner. You've heard me talk about him.
Nice to know you, man.
He's going to stay with us a few days till the Circle O drive starts.
It'll be a pleasure.
Come on, Ben, I'll show you to your room.
Cash,
Yeah, Bess.
it's all over town about your brawling with Lex.
Honey, that kid was fighting in the street again. I had to do it.
You could have stopped it, peacefully, sensibly. You didn't have to humiliate Lex in front of the whole town.
Come on.
Come in. Oh, hi there, Lex. Come on in.
Hi, Vint.
Where you been keeping yourself, boy?
Just around. Here you're going to Durango with that Circle O outfit.
That's right.
How many men do you think they have?
Oh, 50, maybe 60.
Think they could use an extra hand?
I guess they might.
Well, what's the matter? Don't you think I do?
Now, wait a minute, boy. I didn't say that.
You willing to put in a word for me?
Sure. I'll put in a word for you. Did you ask Cash about this?
I don't have to ask Cash. I don't have to ask Cash about anything.
He's your older brother.
Sure, he's my brother, but he ain't my father, which he's always trying to be.
No, Lex, he isn't your father.
Vin, it's just no use. I gotta get out of this house.
What's the matter? You got sister-in-law trouble?
No. It's not Bess, she's swell. It's Cash. He treats me like I was a school kid or something. Vin, you just gotta help me, that's all. Look, would you talk to Cash, please? And, well, he likes you very much. He's always talking about you.
Sure. I'll talk to him.
Thanks, man.
That was a mighty fine meal.
Bess never misses. How about it, Cash? Vin said he'd put in a word for me.
Lex, you don't have the foggiest notion of what one of these cattle drives means. You wouldn't last more than a week.
Well, maybe I wouldn't, maybe I wouldn't.
You gotta be tough, like rawhide. You ask Vin, he knows, he'll tell you.
Look, it ain't gonna do no harm to try.
If you're so anxious for a job, there's plenty of things to do in town. Why don't you go down and see Mr. Fleming?
Well, look, I ain't interested in cleaning out somebody's livery stable.
Your trouble is you're not interested in doing anything you're fit for. Boy, the last couple of years you sure been hard to take.
Well, you ain't exactly been a picnic either.
Oh, hold it, you knotheads. Look, maybe Lex has a point.
Vin, this is between us. Vin, what got into you egging him on with this cattle drive nonsense?
He asked me if the Circle O needed men. I said yes.
Well, I know, but you should have told... Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be hanging out the family wash in front of you. Boy, that kid just about has me licked.
Maybe he's not such a kid as you think. You're riding him too hard.
The old man rode me plenty hard, never hurt me any.
What about Lex? You think it's hurting him?
Nobody's laughing at you, Lex.
You're lying at him, Roby. All of you are lying. You're laughing at me. You think I'm just a fool kid.
Now, Lex, we don't think anything of the kind. You go on home before your brother sees you like this.
My brother. Well, I want to tell you something. He doesn't own this town. And he doesn't own me either. And when are you going to get that through your fool heads?
Well, Lex, you're not talking to a bunch of schoolboys. You go on home. And if you're not man enough to hold your liquor, lay off it.
Oh, I'll show you who's man enough to hold his liquor.
I'm Mr. Wingham.
Get the doctor. Jim, you better go tell the sheriff. It was too late, Cash. He was dead when the doc got here.
Cash, I'm sorry. Where are you going?
To get Adam Roby.
I'd sure hate to be in Roby's shoes when they meet up.
Adam, what's going on?
I'll need some food, Polly. Enough for a couple of days, maybe.
Adam, what's happening? I don't understand.
I'm in trouble, Polly. Bad trouble. That fool kid Lex Harcourt, he drew on me. I shot him.
You shot Lex Harcourt.
I told you he drew on me.
Adam, he isn't...
He's dead. Look, I can't stop to explain. I gotta get moving. You just gotta believe it wasn't my fault.
Well, if it wasn't your fault, why are you running away?
To keep Cash Harcourt from killing me.
But Cash is the sheriff here. He wouldn't do any...
Wouldn't he? Lex was his brother.
Oh, Adam. Adam, I don't want anything to happen to you.
Maybe it won't if I can make it to Standish Falls and turn myself into the marshal.
It's gonna be dark soon. You'll have to take the road, and then what'll happen?
Yes, I know I can't risk it tonight. There's that cabin up on Rocky Creek. I could spend the night there and make it to Standish Falls the next day.
Adam, please. Please, I don't want you to go.
I haven't got much choice, Polly. Not if I want to stay alive. Listen, Vint Bonner's in town. You know the man they call a six-shooter?
Can he help us?
I don't know. I've heard men speak well of him. Find him, Polly. Explain that I'd be willing to give myself up to him.
Adam. This is Adam Roby's wife, Polly. We're old friends. We went to school together.
How do you do, ma'am?
My husband's in trouble, Mr. Bonner. He asked me to come see you. He needs your help.
This is a matter for the law.
Cash Harcourt's the law in Harness Junction. If he gets his hands on my husband, it won't be to put him in jail. It'll be to kill him.
Cash is a good sheriff. I can't think
He's Lex's brother. He'll have to avenge him.
Look, I admit he was mighty upset. But there'll be no gunplay if I judge him right.
You judge him wrong, Mr. Bonner. Please, all Adam asks is a fair trial. He wants to give himself up. To you.
Why me?
So that you can take him to the district marshal at Standish Falls. That's the only way he can keep from shooting it out with Cash.
A sheriff is sworn to uphold the law. I can't believe he wouldn't handle this right.
I can. Then I know, Cash. Yes, I don't want to come between you and your husband. You're not, Polly. Outside of me, Lex was the only other person on this earth that Cash cared about. Maybe in the wrong way, but he cared. Now he'll blame himself for what's happened. He'll want to take it out on somebody. There'll be no stopping to listen to reason.
Bess, don't you understand? Even if I wanted to, I have no right to interfere.
Vint, you're his friend. It's Cash's whole life that'll be ruined if he kills an innocent man.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Bob. Ben, I didn't want to say this out there, but don't you know why Cash will feel he must get even for Lex?
Do you know, Bess?
Yes. Because way down deep inside, he knows he's made a terrible mistake in the way he raised his brother. He's too proud to admit it. And if he did, he'd only have to blame himself for Lex's death. And no man can do that too easily.
Same trouble as the old man. Too tight a rein. Too much spur.
I tried to tell Cash to let up. He just wouldn't listen. He looked tired.
Saw a woman leaving the house just now. Who was it?
Polly Roby.
When I got up to their place, they were both gone. Where's her husband?
She didn't say. She's got some fool notion you'll go gunning for him instead of turning him over to the marshal at Standish Falls.
That's not the only reason she came here. What else, Vint?
She asked me to see that he got there. Safely.
I don't want you interfering.
Now, you calm down a minute and listen to me. Something you're going to have to face. Roby shot Lex in self-defense.
He's a liar.
He's got witnesses.
Witnesses, not one of them telling the truth. People like Lloyd Mason, his son, who never even liked Lex.
Cash, you're twisting this out of shape.
When I want your advice, I'll ask for it. Bess? Did she say where Adam Roby was hiding?
No.
You're not against me on this.
Cash, she didn't say.
I'll find him tomorrow.
Tomorrow he'll be on his way to Standish Falls.
Hardly. I got 2 deputies watching the road.
Cash! If you like, I'll go out with you tomorrow.
That won't be necessary.
Why not?
I don't want anyone interfering with the way I carry out the law.
Cash. I'm not sure you intend to carry out the law.
I think maybe it was a good idea about your staying at the hotel. And you clear your things up by tomorrow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I fix you some breakfast?
Cash might pick up Roby's trail. It's best I go.
Then, if anything goes wrong, well, I mean, Cash mustn't ever find out I told you where Adam is hiding.
Don't worry, Bess. Cash won't find out. And nothing's going wrong.
Wasting your time around here, Sheriff. Adam's gone.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I think you do, Mrs. Roby. You'd better tell me.
Why? So you can find him and gun him down?
I'll find him, Mrs. Roby. Don't you fret about that. I'll find him.
Cash, please. It wasn't Adam's fault. Give him a chance.
I'll give him a chance. Same kind of chance he gave Lex.
Cash, you've no right to hunt him down like that. He's a man. He deserves your protection of the law. You're the sheriff here. When are you going to remember that you're the sheriff?
Roby, it's Vint Bonner. Put that gun down.
You alone?
That's right.
You gonna help me get to Standish Falls?
If that's what you want.
That's what I want.
All right, let's go.
You wouldn't fool me, would you, Bonner?
If you thought I would, you'd use that rifle, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that I know Cash Harcourt's a friend of yours.
Maybe that's why I'm doing this.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bonner, for changing your mind about helping Adam.
I haven't done anything yet.
Well, you will. If anybody can get him to Standish Falls, you can.
Let's see. Are you sure Cash Harcourt didn't follow you?
What? I don't think so. Well, I wouldn't have come if I'd known you'd be here.
Let's get going. We'll take the South Fork around Harness Junction.
How do you find us?
You followed your wife. You know what you're doing, Sheriff?
I told you to stay out of this!
I'm not going to use my gun, Cash. If you're set on shooting somebody, go ahead.
I don't want you. I want Adam Ruby.
I'll help you take him to Standish Falls. I kind of promised Bess I would.
Bess? What you got to do with it?
She's your wife. She's interested in your welfare. She doesn't want to see you make a mistake.
I ain't taking nothing from you, Bonner. Draw. Go on, draw.
You still the sheriff of Harness Junction?
I said draw!
All right, pull that trigger if you want to. But before you do, there's one thing you ought to know. When Lex pulled the gun on Roby, it was you he meant to kill.
Me? You're loco, Bonner. I'm his brother.
He hated you. And he had every right to hate you.
I got him covered, Bonner. I'll put the next one right between his eyes.
Roby, put that gun down. Come down here.
What?
You heard me. Holster that gun.
Roby, you're under arrest. I'm taking you to Standish Falls. You're welcome to come along, Vint.
Come fall, unless your roots are anchored deep, it doesn't take much of a wind to start you rolling on. And me and the tumbleweeds have this in common. We're rooted shallow. It was late October, the sun was still hot, but the nights were getting an edge to them, and wedges of geese lined the sky at sunup. Guess I was following them south. Yeah, boy.
Mister, I wonder if you'd... Mister!
Well, howdy. Hey, let me give you a hand. I was walked to before, but I didn't see you come up.
Oh. All right. That's real good. Much obliged. Now, let's see if we can find a shoe to fit you.
Hey, he looks like he's throwed a shoe.
Yeah, about 5 miles back up the road.
No use yelling. He's deaf as a post.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, being deaf has its points, especially when you're married to a woman who rattles on the way I've been doing for the last 50 years. Maybe that's why he lost his hearing, so he wouldn't have to listen to me. Anyways, we made it to our golden anniversary, and we still enjoy having each other around.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Clay,
Yeah.
I got you a present.
A present for me? Ain't gold, is it? Now, Emily, what did I ever do to deserve this?
Just gold-plated for our golden anniversary.
What's that you're saying?
Our golden anniversary.
Oh, our golden anniversary. And I clean forgot.
You'd forget your head if it wasn't tied on. Maybe you just don't want to remember how long it's been. But I do, Mr. Davis, because they've been good years, every one of them.
What's that you're saying?
Nothing. How do you like your belt?
Well, Emily, it's real pretty. But what you should have bought me is one of them there ear trumpets.
All aboard! We're moving out, folks. All aboard!
Now throw the box down.
Nothing in it worth stealing.
I'll be the best judge of that. Throw it down. Now your gun.
Gold buckle, huh? I'll take that too. Pull it off. I said, give me the belt.
He can't hear you. He's deaf.
Get over
Oh,
here. Don't touch my money! Come on!
oh, my darling. Oh.
Haven't you done enough?
I'd seen the geese flying south, and listening to them talking to each other, I thought of what that lady had said about being deaf, and how maybe it has its points. And I wanted to tell her how wrong she was.
Hold it! Sit! He's covered. Yeah, but why?
Ah, there were two of you. Where's your partner?
There's supposed to be someone else.
Don't be funny. We want straight answers, and we want them mighty quick.
Kit Springer, isn't it? That any way to say hello?
Bonner? Then Bonner?
Sure. Why don't you put that thing down and have a cup of coffee?
Well, Vince, what a sight for sore eyes. Put it away, Lex.
You mean you know this fella?
Know him? Why, he and I rode the Bitterroot Range together.
Sorry. We didn't know it was you. Who did you have in mind?
You see, we're members of a posse. A couple of boys held up the stage last night.
A couple of boys? How did you figure on me? I'm all alone except for my horse Sky here. You could have split up.
No, men on the run ain't apt to do that. Well, does the order for coffee still hold?
Sure, help yourself. You say they held up a stage.
Yeah.
Could have been the one I saw pulling out of Cottonwood yesterday.
Yeah, more likely. There was some shooting. One of the passengers got himself shot. There you are, Lex. Good and hot.
Thank you. You know which one it was?
It was some old man. He didn't do what they told him to do, only kind of he was stone deaf.
Oh, that's too bad. Poor fella. How about his wife?
Nobody hurt her. Just the old man. Oh, this is my brother, Lex. You know, he was just a kid when you and I were riding the Bitterroot Range.
Hi.
Sheriff at Cottonwood. He grabbed a couple of dozen boys and swore us in as a posse. That's why we took a shot at you. We're sorry.
It's all right with me, as long as you missed. Where's the rest of your posse?
With the sheriff. He thinks the killers are headed for Patch Canyon. We don't see it that way.
No, we figured that they would head for the South Pass. Because if they made it, they'd be in the clear. With nobody between them and the border.
Sounds reasonable.
Well, not so reasonable now we run into you. That is, unless you've seen somebody pass during the night.
Only thing I saw was a flight of geese.
Well, I reckon our hunch was wrong. Because they would have to come right by here. This is the only trail, isn't it?
That's right. Of course, I've had my fire burning for a couple of hours. They could have seen it and gone around.
Well, yeah, that's right, Kit. They could have. Maybe our hunch is right yet.
Well, that's no good, even if it is. Because, you see, we don't know the route from here on in. We've never been through the pass.
Thought you boys said you were from Cottonwood.
No. No, we were on our way through Cottonwood when the sheriff grabbed us and put us in the posse. We're from up north, Fort Drexel way.
Yeah. Say, you come through Cottonwood, Bonner. You must be heading south, huh?
That's right, I am.
Well, looks like we hit it lucky, Kit. That is, if you don't mind us riding with you.
Well, it's all right with me. Come along. But you sure are going a long way just playing a hunch. It's over a day's travel here through the pass, and you have no assurance that the fellas you're looking for took this trail.
Yeah, we know that, Vance. But for $1,500, we can spare the time. That's the reward they're offering.
$1,500. That's worth taking some time for.
If the posse catches them, that money will be split 40 ways to breakfast. But if we catch them, see what I mean?
Sure. You split it 2 ways.
3, if you're along, Vance. That's $500 apiece.
I'm afraid I can't count that high.
Then you'll take us through the pass.
Sure, since I'm traveling south anyway.
All right, let's get started.
You bring up your horses, and I'll straighten out my gear.
Wasn't much of a trail, just a little rocky path that wound up the mountain. It was hard riding, too. I had to hand it to the Springer brothers, though. They never complained. I'd taken this route before, so I knew what to expect. But it was all new to them.
What are we stopping for?
Give the horses some rest. They need it. I'm afraid you fellas are in for a bit of a disappointment.
Oh, about what?
About that $1,500. Hasn't been anybody along this way for 2-3 days. Not since it rained, anyway.
Oh, well, men on the run, they wouldn't leave tracks if they didn't have to, and they wouldn't have to here. They could go around, you know.
Yeah, have you seen any tracks?
I've been so busy riding, I haven't had time to look.
Me neither.
Well, I've been doing enough looking for the 3 of us.
Well, maybe somehow they got ahead of us.
In that case, there wouldn't be much sense in you fellas going on, would there?
What do you think, Lex?
I'd sure hate to turn back now.
Well, why don't you ride up the trail and look for tracks, and I'll climb up here and look back where we've been, huh?
Right.
While you're gone, I'll make us a pot of coffee.
It's too hot for coffee. Don't light a fire.
Oh, it won't take a minute.
I said don't light a fire. I mean, it's just that it's too hot.
I see. Well, maybe you're right. big man, you move awful quiet, kid.
I didn't know you were asleep. I didn't mean to wake you. I just wanted to borrow some of that water.
Sure. Help yourself.
Thanks.
You spot anything from up there?
No, not a soul. Did you pick up any tracks?
Oh, there's nothing but rocks up ahead. Oh, I could use some of that. Sure is hot.
You think this is bad? There's about 10 miles up ahead that's nothing but rocks and rattlesnakes.
Well, does it get better after that?
Sure. But by that time, a man's too beat to care. If I were you boys, I'd turn back to Cottonwood.
Well, we've come this far. We might as well go the rest of the way.
Suit yourself. That's a nice-looking belt you're wearing.
Huh?
That belt. I don't think I ever saw one like it. Is it gold?
Oh, yeah. Mex. Got it in Nogales.
Thought you fellas said you were from up north.
Well, we drift a lot. You know, jobs ain't easy to find.
Oh. Sure is a nice belt. Too bad you got it all spotted up there.
Spotted up?
Yeah, looks like dried blood.
That's what it is, all right. I cut my wrist a few days back. Bled all over myself. I'll probably have a heck of a time getting that thing clean.
Yeah, blood stains are apt to be kind of permanent. Too bad. Nice buckle.
Well, if we're going, we'd better get started.
Yeah, guess you're right.
Looks like there's 3 of them now. They must have picked up someone on the trail.
Well, for his sake, I hope he's a friend of the Springer boys.
Why did you tell him that cock and bull story about your wrist? He keeps trying to get a look at your hand.
Well, I had to tell him something.
Well, keep your paws out of sight. Are you still looking for tracks?
No, I'm looking for the trail.
I thought you knew your way around here.
I thought so, too.
Well, we're never going to catch them at this rate.
You're the fellas trying to make the 1,500, not me. Hey, Lex, you happen to have a knife? I gotta make a hole in the cinch.
Sure. Yeah, looks like it's fixing to rain.
It's probably raining down there already.
If it does, we'll never find those tracks. The rain will cover them.
The only tracks on this trail they're gonna cover will be ours. We better be getting on. Oh. I almost forgot to give you your knife back. Say, you're bleeding again.
Yeah? Dang thing keeps breaking open.
Yeah.
I was easy in my mind again for the first time in hours. Not afraid to turn my back on them anymore. I guess they were what they seemed to be. 2 harebrained saddle tramps down on their luck, chasing a rainbow.
You were on the run, Doc. Which way would you go?
Not over the South Pass, that's for certain, sure. Too tough a trail. Longer to the border that way, but a lot faster, safer, and easier to follow.
You're forgetting one thing. The Springer boys don't know this country.
We're both forgetting something. They picked somebody up along the way. That somebody couldn't know where he was going.
Right. Let's take the South Pass.
Lay off. You want him to get suspicious again?
If he does, it'll be the last time. We don't need him anymore. He's taken us far enough.
He still hasn't said which way the pass is or how far.
Get him to say it. We ought to be moving on and fast.
Now, you think it's so easy, you get him to say it yourself. Moon ought to be out pretty soon.
About an hour or so.
Think it'll give out much light?
Maybe.
Up to see by?
See what?
Well, you said we were almost through the pass.
We still got some ways to go.
Well, why did we stop here? The horses could have felt their way.
Simmer down, kid. You're not going to find those men you were looking for. Posse probably caught them hours ago.
Maybe. And maybe not. I'm still playing my hunch.
Any towns up ahead, Bonner?
English Creek, if you want to call that a town.
People live there, don't they?
Hmm.
In that case, maybe somebody's seen those men we're chasing.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow morning. Look, if you fellows are so anxious, why don't you go on ahead? I'll tell you the trail. The trail's pretty good from here to the timberline. You get to the timberline, cross a patch of shale, about 100 yards or so. Then you take a sharp left-hand turn and go straight up. There's a cairn, a pile of stones there to mark the place. Don't miss it, you'll wind up at the foot of a cliff. And at the top of the ridge, you go a couple miles further, and it should be smooth sailing. That is, if you're still in one piece.
Well, Vince, you've sold us.
On what?
About waiting until daylight.
You sure changed your mind fast, but you're smart.
Well, now, look, we're going to shove off early. Now that we know the way, there's no reason for you to get over the chickens, unless you just want to.
That's all right with me. I'm in no hurry.
Well, you'll still come in for the $500, though, as soon as we collect.
Don't mind about that. Like I said, I was going south anyway. It's kind of funny you fellows never went through South Pass before.
What's so funny about it?
Well, you were telling me about all that drifting around.
Never been down this way before.
By the way, who is this sheriff of Cottonwood?
Now, what difference does that make?
I was just trying to remember.
We don't remember his name, Bonner. There wasn't time for any formal knockdown. Folks just called him sheriff.
Well, if I'm still asleep when you boys take off, so long and good luck.
Thanks.
As far as I could tell, they hadn't been lying to me. A man could join up with the posse and not find out the sheriff's name. And I guess a man could ride himself half to death on the off chance of earning a $1,500 reward, if he had a mind to. Of course, Kit's hunch about those outlaws using South Pass for a getaway hadn't worked out. Or had it?
got into you? You had your chance. He was asleep. Why couldn't you do it?
Well, he may have been asleep, but I could see his gun belt sticking out from under the blanket.
Could see his gun belt. You mean you were just looking for an out, any kind of out? Well, not me.
Look, let's go and leave him be. He can be plenty of trouble.
You gone clear yellow or something? He knows our names, what we look like. How long before he figures we were $1,500, alive or dead?
You had to go and kill that old man. He only had a few more years to live, and you had to go and kill him.
All those years of hard times, they sure turned you soft, didn't they, brother? Soft and clear yellow.
You got him! Kid! Kid! Kid!
You live, Vince, so stop fussing.
What are you doing way out here, Doc?
You just stay put till I finish here. Ain't no law saying a doctor can't go along with a posse, is there? Figured somebody was going to get shot, only I didn't count on it being you.
Neither did I. I hit one of them. Missed the other, I think.
You missed him all right, but you sure scared daylights out of his horse. That critter come down the trail like heck wouldn't have it. When we tried to head him off by firing a shot at him, he went over the cliff. Springer tried to jump clear, but he couldn't seem to tear himself loose from the saddle.
This is why. He got hooked over the saddle horn. The horse drug him down the side of the mountain. He was dead before we could get to him. The young one killed the old man for this when they held up the stagecoach.
Yeah, I talked to the widow. She gave it to him for the 50th wedding anniversary.
Bonner, you're $1,500 richer.
Gold plate. Worth maybe $2, $3. 50 years. Sheriff, would you send that reward money to the old man's widow? Fletcherville wasn't any gay parade or anything, but coming off the range, it was buildings and people. Things I'd begun to miss. It was other things, too. Wanted. Dead or alive Billy Sparks for murder and mayhem. Well, guess that came along with the town, along with buildings and people.
Get out of here!
Tough, aren't you? Pushing a woman around, that takes some real men.
You're not wanted around this town, Mrs. Sparks. It's time you understood that.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sparks, but you stay away. All you bring is trouble. Your own Paul won't lift a hand to help you. I can't help you no more, Mrs. Sparks. I can't help you no more either. You're big, brave men, when all you have to fight are women and boys.
Helen Bricker. You do remember me, don't you?
Van Bonner.
That's right.
Thanks for speaking to me, then.
Thanks for speaking. As bad as all that?
You just saw. Good citizens of Fletcherville don't waste words on Billy Sparks' wife. They won't like the idea of you talking to me either.
You don't think I'd let that bother me, do you?
Maybe it should. You just saw what they did to poor Tommy.
Where are you living now?
Cabin out at the end of town. Was the one my father built when I was a girl, remember?
By the way, how is Strad?
That was him you just saw right off on the horse. It's the first time I've seen him myself since I came back to Fletcherville. He sent word that I could use the cabin. No one was living there anyway. But I wasn't to come near his home or see him for as long as I live. Get up.
Van Bonner, aren't you?
That's right.
You a friend of Helen's?
I know the Bricker family.
You know Billy Sparks?
I've heard of him. You'd be Dave Fletcher's son.
I was. Before Billy Sparks killed him. Any news yet?
Not yet, Mr. Fletcher. Jim, what's going on?
Honest, Ivan.
Dave Fletcher built this town, Vent. Ain't a man, woman, or child in Fletcherville who isn't beholden to him. Billy Sparks shot him down in cold blood.
That explains the poster.
That was over a year ago. Billy held up his bank, that's when it happened. Well, they just caught him a couple of months ago in Junction City. That's where Sheriff Ritter is.
When's the hanging supposed to take place?
This week sometime. The date ain't certain yet. See if you got any mail. No mail, Vince, sorry.
I didn't really expect any. Helen Bricker. I hardly recognized her. And I didn't know her father.
Well, Strad ain't never really been the same. Not since she married Billy. Strad disowned her. That's all there is left of the Brickers, just a father and a daughter. Not one word spoken between them in 7 years.
That's too bad. Well, I'm going to be in town a couple of days. I'll drop by later for my mail.
Now, you be careful, Vint. If I was you, I wouldn't have nothing to do with her. Everyone in this town is dead set against her.
Fletcherville's her home. I guess she's got a right to come back to it.
Fella that put this heel on just didn't know his trade. Ain't no reason for a nail to go through on the inside there if the heel was put on proper. Who made these boots for you anyway, Vint?
Let me see. Come to think about it, I think you did.
Me? You dang well know I didn't. I know my own work. I never turned out a pair of boots like that even when I was apprenticed.
Oh, you can soon find out. Look on the inside of the heel. I think your mark's there.
Hmm? Well, I'll be. How'd that ever get inside there?
Just got the word, Seth. Looks like they're not going to wait very much longer. They're going to string him up today.
Today?
Yeah. What's the matter? You don't look too happy.
What time today?
Sundown. The sheriff's staying over to claim the body for the next of kin. You know who that means.
We're meeting out at Joel Fletcher's, half hour before sundown.
Why?
You know why. Same time the state's getting rid of one of the Sparks, we'll be getting rid of the other.
How do you plan to do that?
Huh?
How are you going to get rid of the other Sparks?
We figure on letting Joel Fletcher handle that. It's his right. It was his paw Billy Sparks killed.
Seems to me this town's got a good case of lynch fever.
Seems like it's the town's business. None of yours, mister.
Don't get your quills up, Vint. There's just some things you can't do nothing about.
There's some things that need doing something about.
You don't understand, Vint. You're a rolling stone. Me, I'm in business in Fletcherville. So's Jim Pincher. The whole town is Fletcher built and run. I do like Joel tells me, and I get along. People ain't going to forget Dave Fletcher. Even Strad Bricker won't lift a hand for his daughter.
Seems to me I remember once that Joel and Helen Bricker were going to be married.
Yes, that was a long time ago. Two families had it kind of figured that way. Broke her pa's heart she didn't marry Joel. Dave Fletcher saved Strad's ranch once, and he stood the game before closing, too. Billy Sparks isn't worth a hair of Dave Fletcher.
Well, I'll be back with those boots later.
Vint, we all know you. It ain't a matter of you fighting for Helen. It's who you're fighting against. It's more than Joel. More than just one man. It's a whole town.
Seth, you stick to your last, and I'll stick to mine.
Suppose you heard the news, Barner. They're hanging Billy Sparks this afternoon.
I heard something else I didn't like the sound of.
Suppose you just mind your own business.
I should think a whole town against one woman would be anybody's business.
You're not foolish enough to think there's anything you can do about it.
I don't know. But I might be foolish enough to try. You like to play with that thing, don't you?
I know how to use it, too. You might remember that.
I'll remember.
That's good. And while you're remembering, there's just one other thing. Stay away from Helen Bricker.
Here's something for you, too. I don't do business in this town. That's one advantage of being a rolling stone. Helen, you're still young. You could go someplace else, start all over again. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Bitterness and false pride do terrible things to a person.
I'm Strad Bricker's daughter. I can fight just as hard and last as long as he can.
Fight what? And for what? And in the end, what do you gain?
What do I gain? The knowledge that I'm just as strong or stronger than they are.
Oh, you'll have that all right. You'll have that. And then you'll have the battle scars to go with it. All of a sudden you'll be old and lonely, like your father. There's only one thing sadder than a lonely old man.
Vint, I know what you're trying to do. When I'm ready to change my mind, I'll change it. This is my home. I was born here, and I'm going to stay.
All right. Helen, I didn't want to tell you this. They're hanging your husband today at sundown. And at the same time they're hanging him, your neighbors are planning something for you. I don't know what.
I rode out to see Stradbreaker. I didn't know what to expect or just what I would say to him. Maybe Joel Fletcher was right. Maybe I was being a little foolish. But I didn't like him saying it.
Live in the same town and don't see each other?
Vint, if you've come here to try to fix things up between us, you're wasting your time.
Well, I know it's none of my business.
I told her he was no good before she married him. I told her, but she knew more than everybody else. She wouldn't listen to me.
I guess it's pretty hard to see a person's faults when you're in love with them.
It had to take a lot to love Billy Sparks. Gun-happy fool. I was on the posse that went after him when he killed Fletcher. I went after my own son-in-law. Every man worth his salt in this town was on that posse. They don't come any better than Dave Fletcher. I owe everything I've got to him.
More than you owe your own daughter?
I haven't got a daughter. I'm not concerned with her anymore.
Yes, you are. You and the whole town are concerned. You're judging her and blaming her for something her husband did.
She doesn't have to stay here.
Oh, I didn't hear her complain. I don't think in all the time I've known the Bricker family I've heard anyone complain.
She's not a Bricker. She's Mrs. Billy Sparks, a murderer's wife. I'd sooner see her horsewhipped than have her called a Bricker.
I think maybe somebody has the idea to do just that.
What?
Joel Fletcher seems kind of handy with that whip he carries.
It's none of my business what he does.
Oh, I don't know. I've known you for a long time, Strad. I don't think you'd feel very good about it if any harm came to Helen.
Harm?
I hear some of the citizens are going to pay a visit to Helen at sundown. At the same time, they're hanging Billy in Junction City.
Ah, it's a lot of talk. Joel's excitable. He doesn't mean any harm. Besides, the sheriff would stop it.
The sheriff will be in Junction City till after the hanging.
Ah, what does she expect? Maybe it'll be all for the best. She doesn't belong in Fletcherville. This isn't her home, not anymore. Besides, if she needed anything, all she ever had to do was to come to me and ask.
You know she wouldn't do that. She's your own daughter.
Then why doesn't she say she's wrong? Why doesn't she come to me and say she's sorry? If she'd ask forgiveness, maybe I'd care what happens to her. Don't you see that, Vint? Then maybe I'd care.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Look, I know you're trying to be a friend. But no matter what anybody says or tries to do, I'm not leaving Fletcherville.
You are just as stubborn as your father. Aren't you going to ask me how he is?
I know how he is. He showed me this morning. He showed me plain.
Helen, I think I know you well enough to ask a question. Maybe you didn't know what Billy was like when you married him. But why did you stick with him after he killed Fletcher?
Well, I took vows, Vint.
And he gave you plenty of grounds to break them.
I'm my father's daughter. If I make a bargain or give my word good or bad, I'll stick to it. The sun's going down, Vint.
I understand you could have married Joel Fletcher.
Joel Fletcher? Did you get a good look at him this morning? You think he's any better than Billy? Besides, I wasn't going to be pushed into marriage because my father was beholden to his father.
With Sheriff Ritter away, there's no lawman to protect you, Helen.
Oh, I'm capable of protecting myself. Thanks, Ben. I'll be all right. I have this, and I know how to use it.
Helen.
I'll kill the first person who comes near this cabin. I mean it, Vint. I'm Billy Sparks' wife. A killer's wife, remember?
There's just a chance this town may forget. But if there's any gunplay here today, they never will.
I don't care if they do or don't. I married Billy. Nobody forced me to. I don't expect any favors now.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't think you're going to get any.
I told you to leave before they got here.
Give me that gun. You can get out the back way. I'll stall them.
I never thought I'd hear Ben Bonner tell anyone to run from a fight.
You never saw me walk right into one either. That's a mob out there. Do you know what a mob is? You think it's just a bunch of people? Well, it's not. It's the lowest form of animal.
Well, where do I run, Mr. Bonner? And when do I stop?
Mr. Sparks? Mr. Sparks, you here? We're giving you 2 minutes to come out.
I'll give you less than that to get off my property.
Now you stay here.
I don't want you taking my part, Vince.
Those fools out there I'm worried about.
We're coming in.
Staying out. Get out of the way. This doesn't concern you. Fletcher, I've seen men stoop pretty low. But what you're leading these men to do makes you kind of special.
This is none of your business, Bonner. I told you that. As for what we're planning, all we're going to do is give Mrs. Sparks a taste of the whip. Enough so she won't show her face in Fletcherville again.
Are you sure that's the reason? Or is it because her name is Mrs. Sparks and not Mrs. Fletcher?
You don't seriously believe that's why we're here?
Don't I? You wouldn't be the first man to lead people into doing things for one reason when the real reason was a hidden one of your own.
You're talking wild, Bonner. Now get out of our way. We're going to let one man tell us what we can do and what we can't do. This is our town, isn't it? Yes. Billy Sparks is dancing on air right now. I say let's get rid of the rest of his rotten family.
Stop! All of you, listen to me. I'll leave your town. Before I go, there's something you ought to know. You said Billy Sparks was dancing on air. You ever think what that must mean to me? All of you. Did you ever think what it was like for me? I had to live with him for 7 years. All right, go ahead. You think you're the only one who knows how to use a whip? Billy Sparks knew how to.
Can you forgive me, Helen? I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Listen to me. Listen to me, all of you. Just because...
Your father was a good man. Everyone here has cause to know that. But you aren't him or anything like him. If
he were here to see this day's work, he'd be ashamed, as I am right now. He'd be ashamed. This town bears his name.
I don't think you're going to get a chance to use that today.
This is all your fault, Bronner. If it hadn't been for you.
You wouldn't have lasted long anyway. People have a habit of finding out tin gods sooner or later.
You're a big man with a gun in your hand.
I'll throw away my gun if you'll do the same with that whip.
Confess thee of thy sin, Desdemona, thou art to die.
My lord Othello, have mercy on me.
Mercy, dost thou say?
Oh, please, my lord. I never did offend thee in my life.
You're offending us, lady.
O perjured woman, thou art on thy deathbed. Take heed.
Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Down.
Oh, kill me tomorrow, but let me live tonight.
For Pete's sake, kill her tonight. Get it over with.
Nay, if you strive.
But half an hour.
Holy mackerel, we got to listen to this for another half hour? Come on, fella, put her out of her misery. What about our misery?
Ladies and gentlemen, it appears our thespian efforts have not met with your approval.
Appears? Mister, you sure take a lot of convincing.
My company and I have played before all the crowned heads of Europe. We thought that you would welcome this opportunity to hear the immortal works of the Bard of Avon. We were mistaken. To err is human, to forgive divine. I forgive you. The performance is concluded. Good night.
Well, what about the money we paid? Do we get it back? Yeah, how about that? Either you finish that acting up there or give us back our money.
This ultimatum is outrageous. I reject it flatly.
Just you stay there, mister.
Please, there are ladies present. Someone might get injured.
Are you going to go on with the show or ain't you? Well?
The performance will continue.
That's more like it.
Under protest, sir, under severe protest.
Birch's City had been making strides. Even had the railroad coming in. In fact, that's why I was in town, to meet the train and pick up some spare parts for the pump at the Round Y. Train wasn't due, though, till next day, so I headed for the hotel to see about a room.
Classical plays of Master William Shakespeare as interpreted by the world-famous Dramer Company, headed by the distinguished T.H.E.
The Spion. Must be further away in Alaska.
Mr. Archibald Plunkett. Hi, mister.
Oh, sorry, mister. Didn't know you were there.
Well, you know I'm here now.
Yeah, I just got myself some new views, and I was sort of anxious to see what they look like.
Views?
Yeah, from a stereoscope.
Stereo which?
Here, let me show you. Let's see here. Let me find one here. Oh, yeah. Here's one. Niagara Falls. Have a look at that one.
Well, I'll be doggone. Looks like the water's coming right at you.
Yeah.
C-spans and stereoscopes. The world's just moving too fast.
My key, if you please. Oh, why, sure, Mr. Plunkett. Coming right up. Plunkett, if you please. Here it is, Mr. Plunkett. You may as well have my bill ready. We're checking out this afternoon. This afternoon? Well, I thought you had another show to do tonight. Performance has been cancelled. Oh.
Arch.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Well, wait a second. Don't you remember me?
You seem to have the advantage of me, sir. I don't think we've... Bonner! Vint Bonner!
Sure, what are you doing in Virtue City? I haven't seen you since
our triumphal tour of Texas, wasn't it, Vint?
Well, triumphal tour of...
Yes, when we were the guests of the governor. My company and I, don't you remember? He insisted we stay at the executive mansion. Come along, Vint.
Oh, come now.
Oh, I'll never forget the warmth of that reception. The people of Texas have a true appreciation of the art of the drama. Not like some of our more recent audiences, I dare say.
What are you talking about, audience?
Join us in the spot of tea. I'm sure Marguerite would be so delighted to see you.
Who?
My lovely wife. Don't tell me you've forgotten her.
Well, whatever happened
we
to
take
Mag?
the presidential suite, of course. Now, just follow me, old boy.
Oh, look, I've got to get me a room here, Arch.
Nonsense. The clerk there will take care of all such trivial details. Let's come along, old boy. Come along. Come along, my dear. Enter.
Arch, what in the world happened to your voice?
All in good time, my good friend. All in good time. That was close.
What do you mean, close?
Maggie!
That you are?
Yes, my dear. I brought someone with me.
Oh, I will be there in a moment, Chérie. I have been, how you say, taking a little bath to soothe the nerves. All that horrible, horrible audience. Never will I.
Well, Maggie!
Oh,
how are you?
Why, you son of a gun. Where did you come from?
Downstairs in the lobby. Had to bring him up here before we spilled the beans.
Oh, that's right. You didn't know we were in the profession, did you, Vint?
The profession? Show business, my dear Vint. Show business. Maggie and I are now actors, or thespians, if that sounds any better.
Oh, that's what that word means.
Permit me to introduce myself. Archibald Plunkett, native London, Paris, and New York. For one uneasy moment, Virtue City.
Archibald Plunkett?
Well, I couldn't go on calling myself Archie Plunker once I started acting.
No, I guess not.
This charming young lady is my wife, toast of the continent, Madame de la Seine.
Enchanté, monsieur.
You had to change your name too, huh?
No, just fancied it up a speck. I used to be Maggie Rivers before I married Arch. And we looked on a map and there's a French river called the Seine, so?
Well, last time I saw you folks, you had a ranch outside San Antone. How did you get into this?
Sit down, Vint. Might as well get comfortable.
Sure.
You know, Arch never was much good at ranching. Always hated to stay in one place. And when the drought hit, well, we were wiped out.
About that time, the Doc Riley came along with his medicine show. You remember the Doc, Vint?
Oh, I remember his medicine, too. Proofed about 120.
Well, here, try some of this. The same prescription. Well, you remember Doc's guitar player ran off with that gal who used to do the singing for him. The one with the yellow tights.
I remember the yellow tights.
So the Doc needed someone to take their place, and Maggie here always had a sweet-sounding singing voice, and seeing as how we was broke...
Doggone tights never did fit me.
Well, you're not still with the medicine show.
We sure ain't. Maggie and I started out on our own. We're now doing serious acting. The plays of William Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon.
Bard of who?
To be or not to be. That is the question.
never 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them.
He used to be only a cowboy.
To die, to sleep.
Archie?
That's Hamlet.
They're mighty fancy, high-sounding words.
Wait till you hear the rest of them. Finest writer ever lived. As a matter of fact, I was going to appear as a melancholy Dane this evening, but circumstances compelled Maggie and me to abandon the production.
Oh, that's too bad. What kind of circumstances?
Well, there was a little trouble during our performance of Othello last night. You know, that's another play by the same fella, Shakespeare.
They didn't like the show?
When they began shooting up at the ceiling, that was the impression we got.
Oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Now, you know, I couldn't agree with you more completely. Anyway, we're moving on to Rocky Falls. I hope the people there will have a little more.
Who on earth?
Hey, kid, you ain't gonna say nothing, you? I mean, about our being from Texas. You ain't gonna give us away.
Oh, no.
Your pardon for my intrusion, sir, but do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Archibald Plunkett, the actor?
Your humble servant, sir.
Delighted to meet you, Mr. Plunkett. I'm spending the day in Virtue City, and I saw a theatrical poster advertising the performance of one of my favorite plays, Hamlet. Unfortunately, when I went to buy tickets, I discovered that you and your company are not appearing tonight.
Oh, yes, the change in our schedule. We had to cancel the performance. You see, we have so many engagements we're not able to fill them all.
I understand, Mr. Plunkett, the vagaries of show business. I myself am in the theater.
Indeed?
Yes, permit me. My card. I'm sorry I won't have an opportunity to witness the performance. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Madam?
Good afternoon, sir.
That faker. I'll bet he's no more in show business than you are, Vint. He probably thought we'd give him a couple of free passes.
Oh.
Arch, what's the matter?
No, it ain't possible. I'm seeing things. Vint! Look. What does it look like? The name on the card. What does it say?
It says P.T. Barnum.
Oh!
Real clear, too. It's print. What's the matter with you two? You got the milk sickness or something?
Let me see that card, Vint. Oh, I thought maybe you didn't know how to read.
Look, what's the matter with you two people anyway?
Do you know who P.T. Barnum is?
He said he was in show business.
In show business? He is show business. Jenny Lind, General Tom Thumb, half the artists of America owe their careers to him.
And if he'd liked us, there's no telling what would have happened. He might have hired us for one of his own productions.
The chance of a lifetime to perform before P.T. Barnum.
Arch! Maybe it isn't too late.
Oh, Maggie, the performance is canceled.
Then we'll uncancel it. Now, you get over to that opera house or whatever they call it and make sure they don't rent it out to somebody else.
What are we going to do for an audience?
Give some passes to the kids. Tell them to spread them around. But hurry up and get going.
Maggie, all right.
Vince, you've got to find Mr. Barnum.
Well, I don't know,
He'll not be staying in the hotel. The clerk will give you his room number.
I'm not going to
Now,
walk
you
to the man's
tell him
room.
that we've rearranged our schedule.
Come in.
Mr. Barnum?
Yes, you wish to see me?
Yes, sir. My name's Vint Bonner, sir.
Well, come in, Mr. Bonner. What can I do for you? My best, please.
Well, yes, sir. Well, my friends, the Plunketts, asked me to come by and see you, sir.
The Plunketts? Oh, yes, they're the thespians.
Yeah, them. They have changed their mind, and they're going to stay over tonight and give a show.
Oh, are they? Hamlet?
That one.
My coat.
Anyway, they're going to save a box seat just for you.
Well, that's very considerate. I'll appreciate it. Are you a member of the company?
Am I what?
I say, are you one of the performers I'm going to have the pleasure of seeing tonight?
Oh, no, sir. I'm just a friend.
I see. The collar, please.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's nice of you to deliver the message.
Thank you. That'll be all, sir?
Yes.
Well, I didn't see any more of Arch and Maggie that afternoon. I figured they had plenty to do to keep them busy. Acting's just about like anything else, I guess. There must be a certain amount of work to it. Anyway, about 5 o'clock, I was up in my room putting on a clean shirt and getting fixed up to go to the theater and see what this fella Hamlet was really like.
Hello, Vince.
Hello, Arch. Maggie? What's the matter?
We was born under a lucky star, I guess.
Well, couldn't she get the Opera House, or what do they call it?
Oh, it's available, all right. That ain't it.
Well, I thought what you wanted was to get a chance to act in front of Mr. Barnum.
Not just for him to see us, but to like us, to appreciate our talent.
If only I'd stopped to think.
Oh, I don't blame you, Maggie. I blame myself. I should have known the idea of us giving another performance was out of the question. Here I got all those boys running all over town.
Maybe we could catch an early train and sneak out of town before anybody knows.
Yep. Like the Arabs. Fold our tents and silently steal away into the night.
Now, what are you two belly-aching like a couple of stuck hogs for? You're actors, aren't you? You're thespians? Well, thesp. You got an opera house, you got Mr. Barnum to come to see you, and you got an audience.
That's it, the audience.
Well, you do have to have an audience, don't you?
But they'd be the same folks who came last night.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Oh, they start howling and making fun of us and maybe start shooting again. It'd be another disaster.
And Mr. Barnum would think we were a couple of clowns.
Yeah, the worst actors he ever seen.
Oh, I see.
And he'd never hire us. Never. You can see that, can't you, Vince?
Well, there must be something we could do. Maybe we should talk to the sheriff. He might help.
I already seen him.
What'd he say?
He said if we ain't any better than we was last night, he's going to advise the boys not to aim at the ceiling.
Well, I'm sure sorry. I'd like to have helped you folks.
Do you really wish you could help us, Vince?
Well, sure, if I could.
With the play, I mean.
With the play?
Well, as a matter of fact, my dear chap, we did think of one possible solution.
Like what?
Well, you see, it sort of involves you in a way.
Well, you'd be practically saving of our lives if you did it, Vint.
Now, stand still, Vince, and let Arch explain it to you.
What?
Well, maybe you ought to do the explaining, Maggie.
Now, Arch, do you want me to start remembering about you and that gal in the yellow tights?
I don't care about that. What?
No, but we were thinking, well, you won't say no before you hear me out.
Well, I haven't heard anything yet.
Well, we was thinking that, well, everybody in town knows all about Vint Bonner. We can get Vint Bonner on the stage with us.
No.
Well, now, George, you just walk out.
Now, listen, no.
You didn't find time. You put it like this.
Listen to me. No.
Then you leave your hand.
I don't care about your
circular motion like this. Then you move your hand.
Let loose of me, Maggie.
You make it kind of...
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we drink from the springs of culture. If you don't mind, friend, I'd rather drink from this. Tonight we drink from the springs of culture. Hey, you better stay where you are. Don't you know who that is? I don't give a concern who it is. Well, that's Vint Barney, you darn fool. You better keep your gun in your holster. So, shut up and sit down and listen. Here that
Hamlet.
Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, had been attending the University of
Wittenberg.
The news of his father's death calls him home. When he arrives home at the castle of
Elsinore. Then Hamlet
found out that his mother, Queen Gertrude, had married his dead father's brother, Hamlet's own uncle, Claudia.
Claudia, yeah, that's right.
Well, I know that's right. That's all right, son. You go right ahead. Go ahead. Go.
The ghost of his father then appears to Hamlet
And tells him he was murdered by Claudius, who desired his brother's kingdom.
And his brother's wife, too.
And his brother's wife. Yeah, that's what it says.
Get off.
Oh, yeah, get off. Get off.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew. Oh, that the everlasting had not fixed his canon gainst self-slaughter, that it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king, that was through this, Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother, that he might not beteem the wines of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heavens and earth, must I remember why she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left a flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Vint, your cue.
Come on.
That's my cue. That's my cue. Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well, Horatio. What make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition. A truant disposition.
I would not hear your enemy say so, nor shall you do Mynheer that violence to make her trust her of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart. Do not tell me you came to see my father's funeral. Oh, do not mock me. I think it was to see my mother's wedding. Indeed, it followed hard upon. Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meat still coldly furnished forth the marriage tables. Would I admit my dearest foe in heaven ever I'd seen that day, Horatio? Alas, alas, alas. Curtain.
Oh, woe is me now, Cracks. A noble heart. Good night, sweet prince.
Lights of angels, sing me to thy rest. Lights of angels, sing me to thy rest.
Lights of angels, sing thee to thy rest. Curtain.
Hail to your lordship. Hey, when do we start?
It's all over.
It's over.
Oh, and you were just wonderful.
I feel sick.
Well, that happens to everybody the first time they go on.
Oh, Vin, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't helped us.
I feel very sick.
Did you see? He stayed all the way to the end. Mr. Barnum did. All the way through to the end. Vin, you were wonderful.
Good.
Do you think you'll come backstage?
I don't know, Maggie. I don't know.
Hey, let's get out of this thing. I gotta get out.
Come in.
Good evening.
Why, Mr. Barnum.
I thought I had to stop by and tell you how much I enjoyed your performance tonight.
We're most honored, Mr. Barnum.
I thought it was exceptional, especially under the circumstances.
Oh, you're most kind.
Oh, not at all, ma'am. And you there, Mr. Bonner.
Oh, yeah.
You told me you were no actor.
Oh, he was just filling in.
Well, I realized he wasn't up in the part, but the way that audience quieted down when he walked on. Absolutely amazing. Never saw anything like it before in my life. Such stage presence, and especially coming from an amateur. By the way, if you're ever seriously interested in a career in the theater, I'd be most happy to do anything.
Me? Oh, me? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Hail to your lord. Goodbye. Thank you. No. Well, sir, I got out of that theater just as fast as my legs would carry me. I don't see how anybody could set out to be an actor. All those people staring at you and the sweat running down the back of your neck. Holy smoke. Worse than any gunfight I was ever in. Of course, that applause, well, after it was over, that applause did sound kind of good. Suppose a man could get used to play acting if he had to. But I'm sure lucky I don't have to.
John Payne, starring in The Restless Gun.
If we don't smash them thieving redskins now, next time it'll be us that gets smashed.
We got witnesses that seen two of Tashuka's braves do the stealing.
Punish the thieves, not the whole tribe.
You've been living peacefully with Tashuka for quite a spell now. Why up in the wagon?
They raided the warehouse, stole our grain right out from under us.
All I know is you start a war, maybe you win, maybe you don't. But there are going to be some people here it won't make any difference to, maybe you.
You expect us to stand around whilst they skin us like coyotes?
Why don't you talk to Tashuka? Ask him to turn the thieves over to you. He's a pretty reasonable old rascal. I know, I used to trade horses with him.
Say, it might be worth a try. Better than putting up our scalps for grabs.
They don't want a war either.
Why don't you go in and talk to them, Bent? He's done business with them before. He said so.
Now listen, I was just coming through town. All of a sudden I started to worry that maybe the town had bitten off more than I could chew. At least I'd learned one thing. It's downright foolish to speak up at public meetings. You must know, Bonner, that I cannot allow any of my people to suffer the white man's justice. Well, Chief, from what you say, we both know that they're guilty. In the treaty, it says that wrongdoers will be punished by the peoples whose laws they've broken. It's the white man's laws that have been violated. No, I cannot give them up. I can promise a fair trial, as if by your own people. If you refuse, however, the men of the town will come and there will be bloodshed. I cannot stop them. Warriors will die on both sides. They wrangled a long time, but you could tell that Tashuka didn't want to risk a war if he could get out of this thing honorably. My people have sworn to a treaty. They will honor it. Your people have made a wise decision. But I must have your word. Trial will be fair. More than that, we have agreed to abide by your law. Then your people must promise to abide by ours, if ever they enter our midst. I promise. Running Fawn, are you ill?
No, it is nothing.
You are sure?
I am sure, my father.
The logs belong by the fire.
The prisoners will rise. The jury finds you guilty. Since this is first offense, 60 days.
They got off light. Too light. But I guess it's better than war. Ed and me, that's the missus. We'd be pleased if you had supper with us tonight, Mr. Bonner.
Thank you very much. I'll go up to the hotel and change my shirt.
Pick you up in half an hour. Bonner, glad we listened to you.
Don't mention it.
Well, I guess this calls for a drink, huh?
Come on out. Come on out. What are you doing in there?
I come to you, to be with you always.
Yeah, well,
Bonner is kind to Running Fawn.
sure, let loose. Let loose. Will you let loose? Let loose. Oh, come on in here.
But you said come on out.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? Well, look, I'll go in and you stay here. Running Fawn, you...
I follow you always.
Yeah. Well, you can't do it tonight because I'm going out and I've got to get dressed. So I want you to...
I help.
Running Fawn, you can't stay here. What with the other Indians? What are you doing? Now, I'm perfectly capable of dressing myself.
I have many skills. I make moccasins for you.
Well, thanks, but I just don't use them.
You will like mine. I chew leather 2 days to make soft. Very strong teeth. See?
Charming.
Bonner?
Who is it?
Sam Tapley. The missus and me, we come by to pick you up.
Sam, you stay right there. I'll be right out.
We'll come on right in and set a spell till you're ready.
Don't do that, Sam. Don't do that, Sam. It's kind of stuffy in here. I'll be out in a minute. Now, you sit right there and you don't make a sound. After I leave, you go home. Please. Sam,
What's that?
I don't think I'll be able to make it tonight.
Something wrong, Mr. Bonner?
Well, I don't feel very well, to tell the truth.
Sorry to hear that. Well, some other time.
Running Fawn, will you get on your horse and go home?
I cannot leave you.
And I can't take you out through the lobby with all those people. Take you home tomorrow. Let me loose. Now, you sleep on the bed.
I do not wish to sleep.
Well, then, chew on some leather. How'd I get here?
I picked you up. Very strong.
You picked... Where did you sleep?
There. Like proper squaw.
Well, proper squaw, I'm going to take you back to the village before I get in any more trouble. Good morning, ladies. Running Fawn, I'm sorry if I've been a little rough on you, but I want you to go home and stay there. Now, scat. Oh, Chief Tashuka.
Bonner, my friend.
I have good news for you. Your men were treated fairly, and they got off with a light sentence.
Thank you, I have heard.
But you still look worried.
There is a matter of grave concern. My daughter. No one has seen her since yesterday.
Oh, well, she'll probably turn up. Maybe she's off with some young brave, picking wildflowers.
This is a sad thing for me, but my braves do not look with favor upon Running Fawn.
Running Fawn?
The daughter of a chief, and she cannot find a mate.
That's too bad, but... Oh, she'll find someone any day now.
To appear before me with a young man would be a most welcome sign of vows between them. I would then hasten to unite them in the ancient marriage ceremony of my people.
Well, that sounds real fine, Chief. I gotta get back to town now. I see you some other time. Give me some cider.
Well, here he is, the sagebrush Casanova. I don't blame you for weaseling out on us last night. You're a sly one, Bonner.
Cut it out, will you? It wasn't that way at all. I went to talk to the chief. Stop it, will you? I went to talk...
Bonner, I come back to be near you again.
She's the one?
Running Fawn belongs to Bonner.
Well, Bonner disowns Running Fawn. You're going home. Where's your horse?
Come on, boys. Bonner, my daughter tells me you look with favor upon her.
Chief, I can explain this.
You are together. It is a sign for which I have waited.
It's a sign I can't get rid of her.
Twice she left our village for you. Once she did not return until morning.
And is this true? Look, let me explain.
It's too late to explain. You will marry Running Fawn.
Marry? What have you been telling him?
It is a law of our people. When a man and woman find acceptance in each other's eyes, they marry.
Now look, we're old friends, Chief, and if you'll just give me a chance to explain,
You cannot refuse. I honored white man's law. I gave you thieves. Now you honor Indian law. You marry my daughter.
I can't do it.
If my daughter is not Bonner's squaw by sundown tomorrow, it will be a sign of war between our people.
What do we do now, Sheriff?
I know what to do.
Look, put that thing away. Won't do any good. Besides, the rest of the tribe knows all about this.
That is true. Thank you. But it does nothing. It's marriage or war.
Well, Bonner, I guess the rest is up to you. I'll have Edna take care of the girl with the ceremony. You go get ready.
Well, wait.
I was in a fix, and then I knew what I had to do. There are times when a man has to face facts without flinching. The only manly thing to do was to run.
Going someplace? Thought you might try something like this. Haven't you got any feelings of sympathy?
Yeah, for me.
How about the town? Easy, boy. I like you. We're interested in stopping the war, and you're the only one that can do it. Marriage ain't that bad. Look at me. I've been happily married to Mrs. Tapley for 25 years.
Have you seen the girl?
Well, a man can get used to anything. Now, you give me your promise you'll stay in town nice and peaceful till the knot's tied. I'll give you my promise I'll get out of here the first chance I get.
Then we better put you someplace where we know you're going to be safe. Now move.
Get going. Go on. I thought he is in the jail, but you're too chummy with the sheriff. This back room is strong enough.
Just like a prisoner, huh?
Well, let's just consider you a prisoner of love. And don't try that window up there, it's barred. And we'll have a guard on the door, too. Come on, boys. Pleasant dreams. You'll be safe enough in here.
How did you get in here? What happened to the guard?
I hit him over the head. I watched from the house. You do not wish to marry Running Fawn.
No, I'm sorry, Running Fawn. I don't.
I want my Bonner to live in happiness. Go. Be free.
You know, Running Fawn, there's more to you than meets the eye.
That Bonner. When a man's threatened by marriage, his character goes all to pieces. You shouldn't have let him out of your sight for a second.
I hope no one will come to harm because of me.
I just can't get it through my head why you let him go when you were so all fired up to marry him.
I wish Bonner to want me for myself, not because other people say he must. You understand?
Yes, dear, I do. A woman would.
I couldn't do it. Oh, I'm a coward where females are concerned, but if the chief meant what he said, there would be a lot of dead people in this town soon.
Bonner, you've come back.
Hey, Vint, you're a brave man after all. Out of your mind, but brave.
Yeah, well, I took a little ride on my horse, and I thought things over, and I decided that, well, Running Fawn and I are going to be married.
Great, the war's off.
Wonderful. Did you hear that, Running Fawn? Bonner's going to marry after all. No.
What?
Now, wait a minute.
What did you say?
I am the daughter of a chief. A suitor must ask for my hand in proper style.
Well, now, look, let's just cut out the nonsense, shall we?
Proper proposal or no wedding.
If there's no wedding, this town could be a wheat field by tomorrow night.
All right.
She's holding the reins.
You said it.
Proper proposal.
All right. Running Fawn, will you do me the honor to become my squaw, wife, will you?
Yes, Bonner.
Mr. Bonner, I'll fix your little bride up so pretty for the wedding you won't even recognize her.
I'm so happy.
Come on.
Oh, congratulations.
Let me congratulate you.
I am different. No?
Couldn't believe my eyes for a moment, but when I did, I got the glimmering of an idea. It wasn't much, but it did have a chance.
Yes. You're a lot different. You know what? I think tomorrow I'll take my little bride to be out for a ride. We'll show Tashuka's braves just what they're losing.
Deadline for the the wedding, that is, was sundown. By now, Tashuka's war party was sure to be on its way, and I had only one card to play. It had to do with an old Indian custom.
Howdy, Chief.
Bonner, is this a trick? Trick? Oh, no, Chief. I'm just taking my bride-to-be for a little drive before our wedding this afternoon.
The ceremony must take place by sundown.
Oh, by all means. Nothing had stopped my wedding to your daughter, the beautiful running fawn.
My braves ask that I point out to you a tradition of our tribe.
Oh, tradition?
Wherever possible, a daughter of a chief is to marry one of her own tribe.
Oh, I see.
In all honesty, I do not. They never showed this interest in running fawn before. I told them she was promised to you. The decision is yours. Do you wish to release her from her vow? If you refuse, I will forbid them to speak of it again.
Oh, no, I don't refuse, Chief. What I mean is I do not wish to violate any of your traditions.
You respect our ways, Bonner. Therefore, I have answered to your problem.
You do?
I propose a test of strength in the tradition of our tribe.
Test of strength?
If one of my braves would win running fawn from you, he must first prove himself to be the stronger warrior.
I see. Yeah.
Both of them? It's tradition. We may shake her. Whoever has the strength of arms to throw the other shall be declared the winner.
I was pretty good at this sort of thing, if I do say so myself, so my only problem was to make this look good. Since there were two of them, I figured I'd let the second brave win running fawn, and I'd be on my way.
Chief, losing running fawn is the saddest moment of my life, but it is better that she marries a man of her own tribe.
You have made a noble sacrifice. They also wish to challenge you in a test of strength.
Well, why don't they fight him? He won.
Later they will decide among themselves who shall have running fawn. Now they wish only to show themselves worthy of asking for her hand.
Well, all four of them?
It's tradition.
Tradition.
So I had to lose the next one. And the next. And the next. And so on. It's surprising how far a man will go to keep from getting hooked. Question is, was it worth it?
John Payne, starring in The Restless Gun.
Well, I figured I'd handle about every job there was until Tom Higgins asked me to bring his 12-year-old nephew, Dudley Higgins, to his ranch. The boy's father, a Confederate officer, had been killed in the war, and his mother was dead.
Oh, honey, I sure have missed you. Oh, it's nice to see you. I tell you, I want to find out all about your trip. I want to tell you some things that didn't happen.
Well, how was the trip? Dry and hot. Well, son, this is your Uncle Tom and your cousin Michael.
Thank you for inviting me, sir.
You look just like your father.
Please don't talk about my father.
Take it easy, boy.
I knew I had a cousin in Virginia, but I never expected to see him. We're gonna have fun.
Thank you.
Well, who we got here? Tom don't mean to break into this family reunion.
It's all right, Arthur. I want you to meet my nephew, Dudley Higgins.
I know all about your nephew, Tom. My wife's been telling me all about him. They come up in the stage from Virginia together. My name's Stewart. Arthur Stewart.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
My wife's been telling me how kind you were to her on the trip. I own the general store. And if at any time I can do anything for you, you just come a-running.
Thank you. Arthur Stewart. Are you any kin of Jeb Stewart, the Confederate hero?
Could be, boy. Could be, but I'm not sure.
Where'd you hurt your leg?
Oh, Chickamauga?
How can you live here in the north?
Well, I like it here. Did I say something wrong?
No, you didn't.
It was a long trip. New faces and places.
I understand. Help your cousin put his things in the buckboard and be pleasant. Think I did wrong sending for him?
No. It'll take a little patience.
I aim to have it.
You're Dudley. You know, I'd recognize you any place. There's no mistaking that family resemblance. You must be tired and hungry after that long trip.
Michael, let's you and I take Dudley to his room. Come on, Dudley.
Michael bought this for Dudley, and he threw it away.
What's that?
My father carried this flag at the Battle of Chattanooga. Found him at General Bragg at Lookout Mountain. My father was killed at Lookout Mountain. And maybe the bullet that killed him was fired by your father.
That's not so. My father was never at Lookout Mountain.
He was in the Union Army, wasn't he? He killed him.
Hold it, you two. Now, let's not fight the war all over again. You go on downstairs until we come.
He started it.
Get. Well, where are we hanging?
I think I'd like it over the bed.
Pull over a little. How do you like that?
That'll look fine. Real fine.
Well, after we have some lunch, we'll get a hammer and nails and put them up.
I'm not hungry.
Well, maybe you're not hungry, but I am. Your aunt's a real good cook. You're going to like her.
I didn't want to come here.
Well, you can make it any way you want to.
How?
Your aunt and your uncle are real nice people. Of course, they won't replace a mother and father, but if I were you, I'd figure I had it real good. Now get your feet off the bed.
Everybody off. Come on.
All right, now, who started all this?
He was asking for it. He said the Union Army didn't fight fair. That's why we won the war.
You think you're fighting fair now? 5 of you against 1?
I'm sorry. We should let the two of you fight it out alone.
I don't want to hear any more about fighting. I think you owe Dudley an apology. Now, shake hands.
Sorry.
Go on, Dudley. You too. Mike. Go on, Dudley.
Tom, I'm worried.
Dudley?
4 days now, and that boy still hasn't come around. He's fighting and grouching and never a pleasant word.
Yes, I know.
You know, our house has been turned into a battleground.
One small boy against the world.
You have no right to say that, Ben. We've done everything we could to make that boy feel welcome.
Sometimes when he doesn't know I'm watching, you see, he looks at us as if he could shoot us right on the spot. There's a lot of hate in that little boy.
something of his own. Something to love, to take care of. Maybe the hate would go away.
Why can't you tell me?
Have a little patience, boy.
You're sending me away?
Nope, not like that. How do you like him?
I've seen better.
Oh? Think you could ride him?
Easy.
Let's give it a try.
Like I said, it was easy.
What are you going to name him?
Doesn't he have a name?
Yeah, Sunshine, but I figured if you're going to have your own horse, you'd like to name him yourself.
My horse?
That's right. Your uncle says every boy should have a horse of his own.
My uncle said that?
That's right, that's what he said. Ask him yourself.
I like the name Sunshine just fine. I can tell this has never been a battlefield. How can you tell? Have you ever seen one? Lots of them. I coming up from Virginia, we saw overturned cannons and grave markers. I seen my daddy's marker. I'm sorry your father got killed in the war. He died a hero. I'm sure he did. But do you know how it happened? Sure. I'll show you. But we're gonna need guns. Why guns? Well, what good's a battle without guns? Doesn't your dad have them? Sure, but if I so much as touch him, I'll get hided. I can't tell you about it without guns. Okay, I'll get them. These are real fine. Here, you use this one. Let's see. Okay, this is the top of Lookout Mountain. And down here is the Union Army and all your men. Okay, there's 3 generals in the Union Army. Hooker, Thomas, and Sherman. And up here all we got is General Bragg. Now we're just south of Chattanooga. Now we've dug in to keep you from moving into the city. Get it? Got it! Okay, you'll be General Sherman, and I'll be my daddy. Now he's in an advanced position defending the mountaintop. Get into position now. All right, the sentry had given warning the Union Army was preparing to attack. So my daddy raised that standard and moved forward. Thousands of men were behind this banner, ready to give their lives to fight off those men down there. Shooting started. Clang! Bang! 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 Okay, charge me.
Get the doctor, quick.
Oh, no, not Mike.
Open the door.
can't let him die. You've got to do something, Dr. Harris. Michael? Michael, can you hear me?
Take her downstairs, Tom.
Oh, he's still unconscious. He looks so pale.
Take her downstairs, Tom.
No, I'm not going. He needs me.
The doctor knows what he's doing. He'll be all right. Come on, Gloria. The best thing you can do is let the doctor do his job. What happened? That's a long story. I'll tell you about it later. How is it?
Well, it looks a lot worse than it is. He'll be all right.
Good.
And if you hadn't brought Dudley here, this never would have happened.
Now, Gloria, calm down. You're getting yourself too excited.
How can you stand there and be so calm? Michael might die.
He's not going to die, Mrs. Higgins.
You're just as much to blame as Tom is. If you hadn't given him those guns, you mean he's going to be all right?
Yes, ma'am. He's going to be all right. And I didn't give him the guns.
Well, then where did they get them?
I don't know. I wouldn't go up there if I were you, Mrs. Higgins.
Well, then I'm going looking for that Dudley. And when I get my hands on him... Dudley! Dudley, where are you? Dudley! Don't try to hide, I know you're here. Dudley! You better come out here if you know what's good for you.
Please calm yourself, Gloria. I was afraid of that.
What do you mean?
His horse is gone. He's run away?
Run away? Tom, you go get the sheriff. You tell him what's happened. That boy's got to be punished.
Now, Gloria.
Do you want me to get the sheriff?
What good will that do? You've got to let me find him. Let him tell us what happened.
But he shot Michael. Isn't that enough for you? Do you want him to kill Michael next time?
I'm sure it was an accident.
Accident? Wish we'd left him in Virginia. That's where he belongs.
Mrs. Higgins, he's part of your family now. You asked him to be. You let him run now and you'll destroy him. You've got to let me find him. Let me bring him back. You brought him here to give him a new life, a new home. You're responsible. Take one bitter, mixed-up little boy like Dudley and multiply him by 1,000,000. Well, who's going to build this big new country of ours? Please, Mrs. Higgins. Well, Tom, it's up to you. Find the boy. Bring him home.
What's on your mind, boy?
Mr. Stewart, when I came into town and I met you, you said you like it here.
That's right.
But you're from Virginia. Didn't you like it down there?
Sure I did, boy, but that's all in the past. Now I come here to make a new life for myself and my family.
Do they like it here?
They got to, boy.
I don't like it here.
But you have to give it time.
My aunt and uncle, they don't like me.
Well, you got to give people time to get used to you, boy.
I don't have to wait around to make my mind, Mr. Stewart. When no one likes you, and no one wants you...
Now, what makes you say that, Dudley?
I know when I'm not wanted. That's why I came to see you. You're the only one I know from home. I know you'd understand.
Understand what?
Why I'm running away.
Running away?
This is no place for me. I just wanted to say goodbye.
Now, Dudley, if something's happened, if anything's wrong, you can tell me all about it.
Nothing's wrong. I'm just gonna run away.
Run away. I did that once, but I made a mistake. You know what I did?
What?
Well, I didn't get prepared properly. It's a long way back to Virginia. First thing you have to do is eat a good meal and take along plenty of provisions and get a good night's rest. I'll tell you what. Why don't I just fix you something to eat, and then you can spend the night right here in the store, and then tomorrow I'll help you to get ready for your runaway. What about that, boy?
Please, don't tell anyone I'm in here.
You better hide. Go over there. Come in. Hello, Vin.
Hello? Dudley been here?
Dudley?
Yeah. I thought he might have come by here. Has he been here?
Why, what's wrong, Vin?
Well, I got a hunch he's running away. I thought he might stop to say goodbye.
Well, why would he be running away?
Oh, one of those foolish things that kids do. He and Michael were playing with guns, and one of them went off, and Michael got wounded.
Oh. I think I'm beginning to understand.
Of course, they shouldn't have been playing with the guns in the first place.
Bonner, you get out of here. You get on your horse, right off. You leave me be.
There's no need for you to run away, son. Your uncle wants you to come home.
What about Aunt Gloria?
They both want you to come home.
I don't believe you. You're trying to trick me. Michael's dead. They know I shot him.
No, he's not. He's only wounded, like I said.
Stop! Don't take another step. Don't make me shoot you.
You're going about it the wrong way. If you really want to learn how to handle a gun, I'll be glad to teach you. But that's not the way, not with both hands. I know how it is, coming to a strange country, new places, new people. Takes a lot of getting used to. Believe me, son, we've all got a lot to learn about each other. Now give me the gun. Let's go home, boy.
Go in.
You afraid?
No, I'm not afraid.
You didn't do anything on purpose.
You're just saying that. They made you bring me back.
Gonna get on by yourself, or do you need some help?
I don't need any help from anybody.
Come on, then.
Where have you been? Answer me.
I don't belong here.
You and Michael, you had guns. Where did you get them?
You took them.
Michael should have known better. Didn't he say anything to you?
He said he'd get whipped, but we decided to do it anyway.
Well, I guess he was right. You ought to get whipped.
Tom, you didn't ask the boy what happened.
We know what happened.
Dudley, I want them to hear it from you. You tell them the truth. Did you do anything wrong? On purpose, I mean?
We took the guns. I guess that was wrong.
Yeah, but I mean about the shooting.
I don't know what happened. We were playing. I heard the gun go off in my hand. I didn't mean to shoot him.
I believe him, Tom.
I didn't want to come back.
Ma!
Oh, Mike.
Ma!
Michael, you shouldn't have come down.
It's okay, Ma. It's only a scratch.
You might have been killed.
We were just playing, Ma. It was an accident.
It was an accident. It was an accident. I know now, son. It was an accident.
It says somewhere that a word fitly spoken is better than apples of gold in a basket of silver. You know, that makes a lot of sense.
This thing's more of a comical situation than a serious one, Vint.
You're not talking about a real cannon, are you?
Seems there's a fool Dutchman up there, calls himself Wilhelm Augustus von Ritter. He set up a toll gate back of Saddleback Pass, and he's got a real cannon.
What you need is a troop of cavalry or some artillery. You don't need me.
It's only one man and one cannon. All I want you to do is go in there and serve a notice to cease and desist.
Well, I was going by San Marcos.
Oh, good. Fine. Here's your badge. Here's the order. And here is a copy of the Constitution and Bill of Rights. I hear this fellow studied up on the law.
Now, just a minute, Gavin. I'm no lawyer.
Neither is he. Raise your right hand.
Good morning, Kurt.
Oh, good morning, Miss Heidi.
I just finished churning some nice fresh buttermilk.
Thank you, Miss Heidi. Ah, that's good. Good.
Oh, you better put on your uniform. Here comes a customer.
Toll to cross is 25 cents, sir.
The toll to cross what?
The domain of Baron Wilhelm Augustus von Ritter, sir.
Domain?
I told them nobody would know what domain means, but that's what they calls his land.
Is that cannon loaded?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You a soldier in the Baron's army?
Yes, sir.
How many men you got in the army?
Well, only 2 at present, sir. Just me and the Baron. But we don't need a big army with that cannon.
If I jumped over that post, you'd shoot me with the cannon.
Oh, no, sir. The Baron is the only one who's allowed to shoot the cannon.
I wonder if you'd tell the Baron Deputy U.S. Marshal Bonner would like to talk to him.
United States Marshal?
That's right.
Oh, that's different.
Enter!
Sir, Deputy United States Marshal Bonner wants to talk. Craves an audience with your grace.
Granted. Return to your post. Come in, Marshal. Sit down.
Thank you.
Order! Beer! I am man of few words, Marshal. And so I ask, what you want?
I want you to get rid of that cannon and the toll gate.
By whose order?
By the orders of the United States Marshal.
United States Marshal, Papa. I knew it. I knew that cannon would be in trouble yet.
Silence! Women know nothing of the law, Marshal, but I do. I am 100% American citizen. I never break the law.
Well, what about the cannon?
Article 2 of the Bill of Rights. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It says...
Yeah, but that means to bear arms, to be able to lift, to carry. You can't carry that cannon.
Ha! Now, first things first. The right to bear arms. Did I or didn't I bear it?
Well, I guess you bore it.
And another thing, Mr. Deputy Marshal. If you are a Deputy Marshal, the Fourth Amendment states, and I quote, the right of the people to be secure in their persons. I am a person. Houses. That is my house. Papers and effects. My cannon is an effect.
I would say your cannon is more of a cause than an effect.
Against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. It says...
Well, this warrant was issued on probable cause, supported by affirmation, and it describes the place to be searched and the thing to be seized.
Meaning my cannon?
Meaning your cannon.
Court! Raise your hands, mister. This way. This way. Stay. In you go, mister. Oh, Dunk! Back to your post. March! Yes, sir. Now then, you have the honor of being the first to occupy my jail, Mr. Deputy Marshal. If you are a Deputy Marshal.
You saw the badge.
Maybe you found it. Maybe you stole it. But here you stay till I write to Austin to find out. Now what you got to say, huh?
I think you're out of your mind.
Eh?
I think you're loco. Nuts.
So, we find out who is loco. My fine young smart aleck. We find out who is nuts. Find out. We find out who is not loco. We find out.
This is the end of all the years of hard work here in this wonderful country. This is the end of everything. Maybe they will send Papa to prison for locking up the marshal. Heidi, your own Papa, you would wish in prison? Only long enough so Kurt and I could get married yet. And you could live with us until he got out.
How sharper than a serpent's tooth is a thankless child. So, you wish your own father in prison so you marry that good-for-nothing commoner. You, the daughter of a baron.
But, Papa, we were engaged already before Cousin Rudolph died. Rudolph was only second cousin.
Second schmecken, the title passed to me. You should be proud.
I would rather be happy. And I was real proud of you. When you were just plain Bill Ritter, the best blacksmith in the country.
You think it's fun to be baron. Wear this collar, this tight coat. You think the obligations of royalty is easy yet.
This is America. There's no law says you got to be a baron.
The law of succession says I got to be a baron. Passed down for 600 years. The barony of Wolfgang von Brandenburg-Ritterhaus von Schnell. I have spoken. Take the prisoner his food. Not you, Heidi. You, Anna.
So you see, Marshal, it wasn't something I wanted to do. I'm a soldier, and a soldier's got to obey orders.
You were obstructing justice. You threw down on me with that gun of yours. That could be a very serious offense.
It wasn't loaded. Look. I don't keep a cartridge in it, ever.
Some army.
Oh, here comes Mrs. Ritter. I got to get back to my post.
Good day, Mr. Marshal. I brought you some lunch.
That's very kind of you, Mrs. Ritter.
The ham is cured, the same as Westphalia. I hope you like it.
Looks nice.
The pole beans we raised right here. No strings hardly.
They're delicious.
And the cage is clean. I cleaned it out myself with creosote. Besides, Charlie's been dead 3 years.
Charlie?
Yeah, a pet bear that used to live in there. Wilhelm used to wrestle with him. He squeezed him so hard he died of colic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How long you think? 6 months, maybe?
He's gonna keep me locked in here 6 months?
Ach, lieber Himmel, no. No. I mean, how long will Papa be in prison for locking you up in Charlie's cage?
Oh, well, I don't know. Locking up a federal marshal's a pretty serious offense.
Even with very good food? Tonight I make strudel with custard sauce.
Why don't you talk to that husband of yours?
Then he was a plain blacksmith, Mr. Marshal. He would listen to me. But now, since he got to be a baron, he listens to nobody. Nobody.
I see.
It's like the responsibility of being royalty all of a sudden has gone to his head.
How long has he been a baron?
For nearly 2 months now. And since he put up the toll gate, it got the cannon, none of our friends speak to us, nobody.
Well, it must be pretty hard on you and your daughter.
Well, maybe when he's asleep tonight, I can get the key. Maybe if...
If what?
Well, if you would promise not to hurt him.
You see, I still love Papa, even if he is a baron.
Well, your husband's a very big man, and I don't like to make promises I couldn't keep.
Wilhelm is the strongest man in the county. There's nothing that would stop him but to shoot him with a bullet, with a gun. But I can't do anything that would cause Papa to be shot.
Yeah, well, I know how you feel, Mrs. Ritter, but I'm afraid I couldn't...
You can't promise.
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Well, I'll try to think of something, Mr. Marshall.
Yes, ma'am, you do that. I'll be right here in Charlie's place.
So sit down already. It's getting cold.
All right, Papa, all right.
You're putting enough food for 2 men. What are you trying to do?
So at least we can't say they're stingy.
Huh?
If I might say so, sir, I think you are making a mistake.
Did somebody ask you?
Well, I think he is a real marshal. A deputy, that is.
And I think you are guilty of insubordination. Maybe you would like to join him in the barricade, huh?
Papa!
And you too. Maybe I'll lock up the whole shebang until I get some proper respect around here.
You are spilling tobacco on the tablecloth, Wilhelm.
And what if I am?
You can be the baron everywhere but in my kitchen. Here I'm the boss. You behave here or gives no more cooking.
No.
I think she's right.
What the?
All right, sit back down.
But how?
Please, Marshal, Papa, be still.
He's out.
And you keep quiet, Kurt Braunfeld.
Kurt, do something. That's an order.
But I ain't even thinking of doing something.
You are fired. Dishonorable discharged.
Well, then I quit.
Will you be taking Papa to prison tonight, Mr. Marshal?
Well, not until I've had some supper. On your feet, Baron.
But how could you get out?
Over there. Through the door.
But how could you get out?
Move!
This is a violation of my civil rights.
Hold that.
I know the law. You'll wait and see. Section 9, paragraph 2. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended.
Unless when in cases of invasion or rebellion, the public safety may require it.
Who's invading?
You're a nobleman of a foreign power, aren't you? You set up an army without consent of Congress, didn't you? And you held up travelers at the point of a cannon. Well, didn't you?
No person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. That is the 5th Amendment, you ignoramus. I refuse to answer.
You will have your day in court. Come on.
You can't do this to me. Wait and see. I know the law, by golly. What are you doing here, Dumkov?
The missus sent breakfast. Give scrapple and strawberry jam.
I discharged you dishonorable. Get out!
Mrs. Ritter, she hired me.
For what?
To milk the cows and to pull the Johnson grass out of the corn and to clean up the kitchen garden.
So, you like better to be farmer than soldier, huh?
Yes, I do. Better, much better. And I like you too better as a blacksmith.
Traitor! Coward! Farmer! Achtung! March! Mach schnell!
Well, Baron, your troubles are over.
So, you found it in the Constitution like I said you would, huh?
You can keep your title, your toll gate, and your cannon.
I knew it. All that time I knew it. Unlock this door.
And you can take your title, your toll gate, and your cannon, and you can go back to Germany and stay there.
But I don't like it in Germany. I like it here.
According to the Constitution, you forfeited your United States citizenship.
That's a lie. Show me, show me.
Right here. Article 1, Section 9, Paragraph 8. Read it.
No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any
office or profit.
I can read. Holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present
emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from a king, prince, or foreign state.
That means me?
That means you.
But I want to be an American.
You don't act like that. You act like you want to be a baron.
I didn't be a baron on purpose, Dumkov.
What's your language, fat boy?
If somebody dies and makes you a baron, what can you do?
That's what I'm telling you. You can't be made a baron or a prince or anything like that. The law protects you from it.
Why didn't somebody tell me this?
I'm telling you now.
Unlock open the door. I am 100% American.
What about the cannon and the toll gate?
The toll gate will make a good wagon tongue. And the cannon, from it I could make lightning rods and hoops for the beer kegs.
Well, that sounds reasonable. How about Kurt and Heidi?
My Heidi and that farmer? What about them?
Well, they'd like to get married.
Is this the business of the United States government?
No, but they asked me to talk to you to reason with you.
You unlock this door and put off that gun. I reason with you pretty quick.
Your wife's in favor of the marriage, too.
When I get out, I take a stick to her, too.
I was under the impression that Ritter meant something honorable like knight.
I am descended from the knights of the Holy German Empire. They fought in even the Crusades.
Well, looks like you descended quite a long way to treat your little girl like that and to take a stick to your wife. You sound more like a coward to me.
I am a coward. You are a coward! I invited you to fight man to man without no guns, but you are afraid. No, you hide behind that tin star and pistol. You are afraid to fight fair, huh?
Do you think you know how to fight fair?
I do. Just my fists.
And if I were to win, would you let them get married?
You beat me, little man. And I make you best man at vetting.
All right, we'll fight prize ring rules out in the corral.
Good. I call Heidi, Anna, and Kurt. I want they should see this.
No, this is just between you and me.
Oh, you don't want witnesses, huh?
I think it might be of interest to both of us.
The marshal must have taken leave of his senses already. Papa's the strongest man in the county, doesn't he know?
Well, he must know. He's seen him lift the cannon.
You better split plenty hay, you little man.
You are sure it's just with fists they are fighting?
Sure, I heard every word. And the marshal will be best man at their wedding if he wins.
And when one can get up, the fight is over, right?
That's right, and no stamping while the other man's down.
No kicking? And no gouging with the eyes?
No gouging with the eyes and no biting.
Just with the fists?
Just with the fists. Prize ring rules.
Prize ring rules.
Papa!
kicking?
No kicking when you're down.
Not always in the nose. That makes me very mad. You had enough, Marshal?
Yeah, guess I have.
You're a pretty good man yourself, Marshal.
Much obliged.
Come on, we got hot water and Annika in the kitchen. Come.
Marshal, before you go, there's one thing you should know. You almost had me licked.
No.
Yeah. My wind was gone.
Oh, what's this?
Just a little lunch, so you won't be hungry. It's a long journey to St. Marcos.
Well, that's very nice of you, but...
Ah, take it. We got plenty.
Well, thank you. That's very considerate.
Maybe you come to the wedding.
The wedding?
Papa said yes.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, Papa. Maybe I will at that. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Riding scout for a railroad survey is an interesting job, but it has its drawbacks. For instance, I, for one, don't like sleeping on railroad ties. That's why when I was working through the southern part of Arizona, I was happy to find accommodations for a few days with Abigail and Elizabeth Sweet. These two gentle little old spinsters took me in, adopted me, mothered me, heaped kindness on me. I liked it. Of course, you can stand only so much kindness, too.
Mr. Bonner! Good morning, Mr. Bonner.
Good morning, Miss Abigail.
Sister, he's up. Oh, did you sleep well, Mr. Bonner?
Just fine. Most comfortable bed I ever saw.
Some coffee for you.
Thank you, Miss Abigail.
We wrapped a hot brick in flannel and put it at your feet last night to help keep you warm.
This man burnt my toe.
Oh.
Hello there. Anybody home?
Oh, that sounds like Sheriff Conroy. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, ladies. Is Vint up yet? Oh, Vint! Vint, get up! Come on, I need you, man.
All right. You sure are out early.
I ain't been in yet. Tracking rustlers gives me no time for sleep.
Oh, you poor man.
Don't you have any luck?
How do you find spooks? There's no organized gangs in the area. There's no strange cattle shipments. There's nothing unusual at all. This is piecemeal cattle rustling. 3 head at one time, 6 head the next. Some of the folks are blaming renegade Indians. Some folks are blaming squatters. But everybody's blaming me.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it, Elizabeth?
Yes, my heart goes out to him, Abigail.
Well, thanks, ladies, but your sympathy ain't going to get the Cattlemen's Association off the back of my neck. Vint, you get around a lot with this survey party. Now, have you ever spotted anything that looks unusual?
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I haven't seen a thing.
Well, keep your eyes peeled. I'm heading back to town.
Sheriff, I'm going with you. I gotta meet my crew.
Well, take care of yourself, Mr. Bonner, and don't get in any drafts. Mr. Bonner, are you wearing your
My what?
longies?
Yes, Miss Abigail, I've got them on.
Well, here, let me fix your collar. And remember, if it rains, put on your poncho.
Yes, ladies, thank you. Let's go, Sheriff.
Goodbye, Abigail.
Goodbye, Mr. Bonner.
Goodbye, Miss Abigail. Goodbye, Miss Elizabeth.
Now, Abigail. Not now, Elizabeth. Now, Abigail. Now, Elizabeth. Oh, you be a good girl now. Want me to help you? Oh, well. Now let's don't come unglued.
Go back where you come from. Back. There ain't no place around here for squatters.
We got our rights. I'm coming through. Get out of the way.
Don't you try it. Hold it. What's the matter with you people? Is everybody gone loco?
They won't let us into town. We need supplies.
Who are you?
I'm Louise Keller. This is my father. We're homesteaders.
Homesteaders. That's a Tony name for squatters. We ain't selling them nothing. We're gonna starve them out before they rustle some more of our cattle.
He doesn't look like a rustler to me. You men are going off half-cocked. You've got no proof.
Nothing at all to tie him in with rustling. I've checked.
You keep out of this, Sheriff. You ain't done nothing about the rustling. You go back and tell them other squatters there ain't nothing for sale for them in this town. Not for any of them.
Get out of my way.
That's enough. Now listen to reason. There's more homesteaders in this area than there are ranchers. The merchants of the town rely on their business. Go ahead, starve them out if you want to, but what happens to your town then? That what you want?
All right, men. Clear this wagon out and let them through. Move it over. Come on.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner.
Thanks, Mr. Bonner.
It's quite all right, miss.
Oh, I was just telling the sheriff. That was mighty good thinking, Mr. Bonner.
Vint, this here's Joe Bronson. He's head of the Cattlemen's Association.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mr. Bronson.
You know, these small ranch owners are getting out of hand. And there's not much I can do about it.
Can't hardly blame them none. Getting nicked for 2-3 cows at a time.
Whoever's guilty is getting away scot-free. That's what hurts.
Well, mob action ain't going to help any.
But they're not through yet.
Maybe you could help us, Mr. Bonner.
I hardly think so, Mr. Bronson. My job's almost finished. I'm leaving town in a couple of days.
Now, you must eat hearty, Mr. Bonner.
Look, Miss Elizabeth. No, thanks.
It's all
Please, you've
for
got
you.
enough here for 10 men. Meat's good, though. Top-grade beef.
Beef? Good gracious, we never eat beef.
What is it?
Why, that's a rutabaga burger.
A what?
A rutabaga burger. We make it with rutabagas and carrots. Everything we cook is made with our own vegetables.
Tastes good. You got another guest for dinner?
Oh, well,
She was such a helpless little baby. We thought we'd take her in so we could take care of her.
That is until we found out who she belongs to. Isn't it horrible, Mr. Bonner?
What?
Some people actually eat little calves like that.
Not alive, anyway.
We've even heard of people eating calves' liver.
Pretty good with onions.
Oh, steady, sister. Don't faint. Poor, innocent cow people.
Cow people?
So helpless. So completely at the mercy of man's inhumanity.
More coffee, Mr. Bonner?
No, thank you, Miss Abigail. I'm kind of tired all of a sudden.
Well, you've had a big day.
Yeah, I got up kind of early, but maybe I'll just get 40 winks, maybe.
Isn't he a nice boy? Do you think he'll be asleep long, sister?
All night. I put a little something in his coffee. After all, we've got work to do. There's a full moon.
Of course.
Ben, come on, boy. Come on, wake up. Open your eyes.
Cut it out. I feel woozy. I sleep here all night?
Vint, you gotta help me. Another herd was hit last night. The ranchers are mobilizing like an army. They're getting ready to burn houses. Homesteaders' houses.
Well, what do you expect me to do? You talk like I knew the rustlers personally.
Yeah, but they gotta be found, Vint. Only trouble is I don't know where to look next. It's like being lost in a cave and not knowing which way is out. I look one place. Rifles. Nothing. Then I look someplace else. Guns, rope, bullwhip, nothing at all. Then I look in another direction. And I still can't get any place. Stolen cows. Circle C Ranch. Man, you don't think those little ladies could...
It's probably a perfectly reasonable explanation for all this.
Sure.
They probably just... Well, maybe one of them... Well, how could... All right, get up.
Oh, Mr. Bonner. Oh, you're up. When we left you were sleeping so soundly, we didn't have the heart to wake you.
And Sheriff Conroy, how nice of you to drop by.
We've been out picking wild flowers. Aren't they lovely this time of the year?
Miss Elizabeth, Miss Abigail, Sheriff Conroy wants to ask you something.
Oh? Are you in some kind of trouble, Sheriff Conroy?
No, ma'am, he's not in trouble. Well, while you were out, we found these.
Equipment only cowpunchers would use, or rustlers.
Sister, am I dreaming, or do Mr. Bonner and Sheriff Conroy think we are the cattle rustlers?
I'm afraid they do, sister.
Well, what about those guns and that bullwhip?
We're all alone out here. We need them for protection. A girl can't be too careful these days.
Well, then what about those lassos?
Oh, is that what they are? Why, they were left here by the man that we bought this house from. You see, sister? I told you those were too big to be clotheslines. Gertrude, where have you been? Where have you been? Well, bless your heart.
But what about it? That's the brand of the Circle C Ranch.
Well, goodness sake, we thought that was a birthmark.
Ben, I think we owe these ladies an apology.
I guess we do.
Good morning, Miss Abigail.
Good morning.
Sheriff Feller, you and Mr. Bonner got to help us.
Somebody just threw this on my front porch.
They say if we're not off our land by sundown, they're going to run us off.
The 6 head of cattle that disappeared from the Circle C Ranch last night must have been the last straw.
Mr. Bonner, we had a meeting last night. Every homesteader in the valley was there. They couldn't have been out stealing cattle even if they had a mind to.
Mr. Keller, do you mean you're to be driven from your land because of crimes you didn't commit?
Yes, ma'am. They just won't believe that we didn't do it.
Sister, will you help me get a bucket of fresh water for the flowers? Would you excuse us?
Oh, of course, sister.
Courage, my friends. Sister, we have no choice. We cannot let innocent people suffer because of our deeds.
But what about our poor little four-footed friend?
Other eager hands will reach out for the torch when we are forced to yield it.
Oh, how brave you are, sister. How very brave.
It's our duty. Come. Where are the Kellers going?
Home to pack their belongings.
All the homesteaders will be on the trail by sundown.
Their exodus is unnecessary. The true culprits stand before you ready to confess.
Truly.
Ladies, this is no time for jokes.
I assure you, this is no joke. We are the cattle rustlers. Arrest us.
Oh, dear.
Execute us if you wish.
Oh, dear.
Ladies, I know your kind hearts. It's generous of you to want to help the homesteaders, but you can't ask us to believe that you two are cattle rustlers.
You were prepared to believe us a short while ago.
Well, that was before you explained things to us.
Sister, I think these gentlemen need convincing.
Truly they do, sister.
And now, do you believe us? We took the cows to a hidden canyon in the mountains of the Circle C Ranch, and they're so happy.
374 of them. Oh, yes, of course. 376 by now. Marilyn and Eloise were expecting.
But, ladies, why would you steal the cattle?
We weren't stealing them. We were saving them.
For what?
How can you look at that dear, sweet face and ask such a question?
Would you believe it? There are evil men who want to put Gertrude and those like her in hot, stuffy stomachs and fill them full of food to make them fat and tender. And then lead them to oh, Gertrude. Oh, don't think about it, sister. There, little sister.
But, ladies, how do you expect to save the cow people by just stealing a few of them? Cow people?
Alone, perhaps not. But all over this world, standing side by side with the animals they love, are people just like us, fighting to stamp out meat-eaters.
Are you out of your mind? Oh, it's true, Joe. They did it. Some idea about making the world safe for cows or something. They did it.
I suppose you'll have to tell the ranchers.
Well, tell the ranchers nothing.
Well, what about them, Joe?
But let them go quick before anybody else finds out they're here. Look, I don't care if they confess to assassinating Lincoln. If the folks in this town find out that we think they're the rustlers, they'll lynch us.
He's right.
Yeah. Well, all right. All right, ladies, you can come out now.
Already? Oh, here, sister, let me put my knitting in your bag. Do that, dear.
Can we help you in any way?
Oh, no, thank you. Our buggy's at the livery stable.
We're perfectly capable of taking care of ourselves.
That's sure, Miss Abigail.
We'll wait dinner for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope we didn't inconvenience you, ladies.
Oh, no.
I'm terribly sorry about this.
Oh, that's all right.
Goodbye, Sheriff.
Goodbye, Miss Abigail. Goodbye, Miss Elizabeth. Goodbye. Well, it's only a few hours till sundown.
Hold everything just a minute. Look, if the ranchers knew we'd caught the rustlers, that would clear the homesteaders, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, then let's give them some rustlers they will believe.
What are you talking about, Ben?
Look, one of us rides down the street yelling at the Dickens. The others rush out and say, that's the rustler. Then, by the time a posse gets organized, we'll be a mile out of town. We can say we shot him and he rolled down a hill into the river or something.
Well, that could be an idea. Nobody'd get wise to us.
Oh, well, who's the rustler we chase out of turn?
One of us, change him in different clothes or something. What do you say?
Well, it's worth a try. Oh, but I couldn't do it. You see, it's my word that the cattlemen will have to take that we shot him.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, I'd have to lead the chase, Joe.
You're the sheriff.
It'll take a little time to get up a posse, huh?
That's what you think, Sheriff. All right, boys,
We're on the trail of the man that's been doing the cattle rustling. Have you seen anybody come this way?
Well,
Your cattle rustlers will bother you no longer. Oh, what have I done?
oh, my sister.
Now hold it, men. The little ladies are upset. You boys go on home. I'll take care of this.
Are you sure, Sheriff? Don't you think we ought to go in with you, Sheriff? No need for you men to stick around. Go ahead. I'll see you in town.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth, I'm sorry. Easy does it. Easy does it.
My poor little sister.
Vin, boy.
You were supposed to stall the posse.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vin, but you see,
Aside from these, I have 2 bullets in my saddle, and 1 glanced off my stirrup.
Well, I tried to tell the posse you'd gone off the cliff, Vin.
Where do you think I've been?
Well, it all came out all right. You're all in one piece.
No thanks to you! If it hadn't been for Miss Abigail there, I'd be a dead rustler!
Well, thank you, Miss Abigail. Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks from me, too, Miss Abigail.
Oh, I'm sure the homesteaders thank you, too. You are going to give up cattle rustling, aren't you?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, we've been thinking that we'd leave this territory altogether. We're going to California.
Yes, to California.
There's a great deal of our work to be done there.
A lot of people moving out that way.
Yes, and so many people are taking cows with them.
Chico!
Senor Boner!
¡Ayúdame a agarrar este cuerpo, condenado! ¡Espérate! ¿A dónde vas?
¡Pedro! ¡Chico!
Sí, señor.
Shut that pig up. Shut him up, will you? What kind of a ruckus is this at a time like this? I got your wire a day late. What does the doctor say about Brimstone?
Sí, señor. You got here, and Pedro's very busy. Pedro got to go.
What do you touch? Pedro, come back here! Chico! Brimstone! You in there?
Hey, you, Joe Tanner.
Yes, ma'am?
Come here. Now, I ain't gonna yell too loud, 'cause you're new on the job. But where you been since sunup? I sent you up to the line shack to fix the hinges on the door, not to rebuild the whole shebang.
Yes, ma'am, I know. Well, I got to look at them fine herds of wild horses that's running on your land up there.
And I ain't paying you top wages to stick your snoot in it on my time. Now get this horse I just shoed back to Doc Curry. And I mean move!
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Vent Bonner! Well, slap my hide!
Brimstone, you're supposed to be sick. You're supposed to be dying.
Oh, you fell for it, you big jackass! I know as sure as God made little apples, I'd have to think of something good to get you back here.
And you ain't sick, and you ain't dying.
No, and shut up. I got my reasons. Well, you should have known I'm healthy as a horse. I can't even get sick.
Would you mind telling me what that's got to do with pulling me off of a good job in the middle of Roundup?
Because I'm hiring you for a job that'll pay 3 times your Roundup pay and expenses. Now, come on, and I'll...
3 times my... You can't give me all that money for what?
Would you get in there and wet your whistle and cool off? This is different, and I can't trust nobody but you. Now, come on, get in there. Come on.
You've got a grandson, 12 years old, in school in Boston?
Stop looking like that's a freak of nature. Even a lady blacksmith can have a grandson.
I didn't mean anything, Brimstone.
Before Buckshot died, I promised him if our kid ever had any of her own, I'd do right by him if I had to hock my boots.
No offense intended, Brimstone. I remember about your daughter dying. And her husband a year later.
But you didn't know about him killing himself when his kid was a year old. Because he couldn't handle getting poor. What's wrong with Sylvester Cromwell III getting the chance to be a gent like his old man? Education, the works.
Nothing, Brimstone. I only thought that...
You ain't got time to think. You gotta be in Santa Fe in 2 days to meet that kid's train.
Santa Fe's 80 miles away. What are you talking about, 2 days?
2 days. Now come on out to the wash house and get a bath. It'll wake you up. Now that Doc Curry talked me into bringing the kid here, we're gonna be on schedule. Now come on.
What's Doc Curry got to do with me? Why doesn't he meet the train in 2 days?
Because he's too blasted old to chase trains. Now get! Tell you all about it when I scrub your back.
Well, son, suppose we get acquainted. It's gonna be a long ride.
The Cromwells never fraternize with their employees. However, you may tell me about my grandmother. How literate is she?
How, which?
Literate. It means educated, cultured.
Oh. Well, I doubt if she can compete with the Cromwells on that score. But she's human as all get out. For instance, she's sacrificed a great deal to get Doc Curry handle that $2,000 to send back to you each year for your schooling. And I got a hunch that underneath all that brimstone...
You need not proceed. I just wanted to verify the suspicions I had when I heard the driver refer to her as Madame Brimstone. Be assured I'm thoroughly capable of coping with the situation.
Well, my dear, we have succeeded admirably in duplicating my room at Oxford when I was a boy. Now, if you would consent to marry me.
Now, don't start that hogwash again.
But, my dear Madam Brim, there is so much that we could do together for the boy's upbringing.
Yeah, with my money and your brains.
But, my dear...
Look, it's one thing letting you mooch liquor out of me, but if you don't stop talking matrimony, I'm going to run you clear to Frisco.
But you do me an injustice, madam. I only want to be your humble servant.
Then lay off the firewater. I want you soused when my grandson gets here.
Chico! Pedro, come on, we got company! Tanner! Get over to town and round up Doc Curry and the Englishman. And if Cedric's soused again, get Doc to sober him up.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on!
Pedro, get these things, will you? Brim, I want to talk to you about,
Oh, Vinny's beautiful. Just beautiful. Slap my heart.
You have the stench of a stable. You live in a pig pen. Let me go, you big bully! Let me go! You were for hurrying? Let me go, you big bully! Let me go!
Now you listen to me, you snooty little brat. Just look at this room your grandma fixed up for you. I ought to tan your hide.
Senor, don't hurt him. Please, Senor. You shut up. No scared little foreigner has to intercede for me.
It's all right, Chico. You're a good boy. He'll find out.
Now, when you're able to act like a gentleman and apologize to your grandma and to Chico, you can come out. Come on, Chico.
Pedro, where's Brimstone?
She's out back, senor. Pedro is very worried.
Take that stuff up to his room, but don't talk to him.
Si, senor.
Brimstone, you in there? Anything wrong?
Anything wrong with taking a bath?
No. Need any help?
No! And lay off that kid. I'll handle him. I got another job for you.
Now look, Brimstone, you know I got a job up north.
Get saddled up. You're trotting over to Phoenix to hire me a blacksmith. A man blacksmith.
All right. See you in a couple of days.
When I got back a day later, I figured the place had undergone a renovating that even smelled good. Not a pig or a hen in sight. Only thing I didn't like was the way that two-bit Englishman was still hanging around.
Ah, welcome back, Mr. Bonner.
I should have thought Scotland Yard would have caught up with you by now.
Really, Bonner, it's refreshing the way you Westerners josh a fellow.
Yes.
I was just studying Master Sylvester's thesis on the Darwin theory of evolution.
That figures.
He's a genius. His brilliance amazing. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll conclude my study at the boy's desk.
Well, it's about time you got here.
Mrs. B.J. Brim. I must say you look a lot better on the end of a broom than you do over a hot forge.
Mrs. B.J. Brim is still stupid and you can't scrub that off. Now, did you find me a blacksmith?
Yes, ma'am. He'll be here next week. The boy hasn't changed.
No, and he isn't gonna. You look tired. Why don't you sit down? I'll get you something to eat.
May I try? Chico is a pretty good fighter, too. His Indian friends over at the reservation teach him. Then we start well matched. I think so. Only the meetings might make the difference. Nonsense. You'll get used to them. All good fighters do. If you win, I'll give you my gold medal. I was the champion at Haddon Hall. That one pinned on your robe, amigo? Yes. If you win. Now get over there and we'll start. Where, amigo? Where do we stand? Right over here.
Did he apologize?
Oh, he acted like they were yanking all his molars out, but he did. Ain't his fault. I even tried to bribe him.
How?
I'd told him that I'd make him richer than the Cromwells ever was. That someday he'd get all this land, the whole works. Besides the 25,000 cash that I piled up. I even showed him my hiding place for it. Know what he said? He popped off I'd be a lot smarter to keep it in the bank. Cooked my goose.
He's got a point. And Brim, you're not the first person in the world to try and buy someone else's love. He's smart enough to know that.
Yeah. He hasn't talked to me since. He don't talk to nobody but the Englishman. That's why you're going to take him out of here on the first stage tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Where's the boy now?
Oh, he's out there fooling around with that boxing business.
Look, maybe he just enjoys being top gun around here. What that boy needs is a little whittling down to size. Let me try.
Hey, don't you go to whittling too hard or I'll come out there and skin your hide.
Why, it's very good, Sylvester.
It was inevitable.
After an exhibition of your style, how about a sporting comparison with Chico's frontier style? Seems only fair.
Si, senor. Chico is ready.
You wouldn't be scared, would you?
Certainly not. It's a scientific fact that a superior intelligence can triumph over anything. How do we proceed?
Well, since we don't have a bell, I'll just get off a shot for between rounds and you ready, Chico?
Si, senor. Oh, do I get the gold medal if I win?
I don't know. Does he get the gold medal?
Certainly. I'm not a welcher.
Chico, you get the medal. Now, back off. Everybody ready?
I don't know what's going on.
Just don't let him alone. Let the whittling take its course.
You pig!
Get up, amigo, or I win now.
I'll kill you, you ignorant pig!
After me, I win.
Sí, mi muchacho.
Do I get the medal now, senor?
Well, Chico, I guess you do. Senor Chico Alvarez, it gives me great honor to give you the Gold Medal Award for Haddon Hall.
Let me go! I'm no baby. Barbarians. Savages. I hate all of you. You can keep your land and your money. I don't want you for my grandmother.
Whitland.
Look, Brimstone, take it easy. The kid'll come around.
He's right, my dear. Let me go to him. We're friends. I can make him understand.
You can try if you want to, but it won't do no good. You heard how he hates me. Tomorrow morning, you're going to be on that stage with that boy.
Brimstone, are you sure you can trust Maybury?
I'd be sunk without him right now while you're making things worse with your blasted Whitland.
Senor, I only tried very hard to be his friend, too. I don't want the middle if it keeps him unhappy.
You keep it, Chico. After all, you earned it.
Sylvester, my boy, I know how you feel. I wish I could run away with you.
Why can't we? Please take me away from this place. Please take me away.
Of course, my boy. We'll go away tonight when everyone's asleep. But we must be very, very cautious. Oh, come on, boy. We can't keep my friend waiting at the line shack with the buckboard ready to take us to Phoenix. Hurry up with your bag.
All right, sir.
Muchacho, you mustn't run away.
Buckboard.
There isn't any buckboard, little man.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you to sit down, little man.
What does he mean?
Exactly as he says. You are going to sit in that chair and tell us where grandmother is hiding her money.
I will not. That is her secret. She trusted me with it.
We haven't got all night. Maybe you'd better tell him what might happen to Grandma if he don't talk. And fast.
You wouldn't dare hurt her. Let me go! You traitor!
Now, you will tell us quickly, so that Tanner can go and find the money quietly. If you don't, he'll go anyway. We'll take care of grandmother in her sleep. Then we'll take our time finding the money.
Don't hurt her. Promise you won't hurt her. It's under the floor of the wash house. Behind the bathtub.
I'll be back pronto. We'll head for the border.
Now let this be a lesson to you, little man. Never trust your co-conspirator out of your sight, especially when there's a lot of money. Now I'm going to lock the door. If you don't want anything to happen to your dear grandmother, you stay here and be very quiet.
slower. He had to tell them where your money was, because he said they would kill you and find out anyway. I saw through the window, Senora. He tried to keep your secret because he said you trusted him.
Oh,
Girl, don't cry.
Oh, look at you. How are you? Are you all right? You're all dirty. Your clothes.
Well, Grandma, I reckon I like it.